All right, everybody, let's see where this stream starts. We got a bunch of stuff going on today. I'm just wrapped up my first stream. We're going to be starting the second stream sometime later. Until then, I'm giving you this great content that Fortnite is giving me. So I just want to share this with you. Until the next stream, thank you all for joining me. Second stream will start soon, guys.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Let's see.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see.
Stream. Thank you all for joining me. Second stream will start soon, guys.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Let's see.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see.
Stream. Thank you all for joining me. Second stream will start soon, guys.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Let's see.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see.
Stream. Thank you all for joining me. Second stream will start soon, guys.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Let's see.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see.
All right, we're just getting that set up. Having a nice little message for people who are here.
Tifu on your screen.
You guys don't have any sound yet, so just bear with me. Please.
Take it. I'm going to clear out every other opponent there.
All right, everyone. So we are kicking off the midstream. We are checking out the World Cup and all of its glory. I appreciate everyone for being here, being able to check out the stream.
The resources are incredible. Yep. A loadout already. He just needs some mobility. Maybe drop one of the ARs depending on ammunition at a certain point. Gotta find some shadow bombs. Even the redeploy might be worth it. We'll see if he swaps out. He actually puts down that tech AR and grabs a purple grenade launcher.
And the zone right there as well.
Oh my god.
Only one other player landed here. That's Clipnode. So it's going to be Tifu versus Clipnode for control of the block. Unless I've got a lot of respect for that gameplay. Here too.
All right,
We'll
everyone,
go
I
ahead
hope
and
you
fall away.
enjoy
And folks, I
what
think
we
it's a
have
sign
going
of,
on.
respect
Second
for
stream will be
Tifu as a
starting
player.
later
They
today.
have forfeited
Thank
the
you very
rest of
much for
block
being here.
to
This is
man
Polar
as
FX
he's already
Gaming.
at 190 total
Peace.
HP and a fantastic inventory. Rotating here towards Fatal Fields. Class on your screen. Bucky there as well. Class currently with a little bit of a mixed inventory, but this is what we talked about yesterday. If you play Fortnite, you know that in the Fatal Fields corn maze, there is loot. Well, guess what?
Just floor spawns all over.
Typically, you and I, I'm sure, Ben, break all the corn down.
100%.
We farm it on up. These players know the exact route of where the loot is while it's hidden in the corn because they've studied this area of the map so much. It's the little things that make the biggest differences. Class right now looting, and no one has any clue where he is.
Bucky in the long barn, grabbing. There's 2 chests spawn here, plus any of the floor loot possible along the way. Little side stalls, so quite a bit of wood to farm up. He's got a couple little forests. He's got the fork knife quarry there, plus the ship up top. He can take that slip all the way to the top. He's got an opportunity to travel basically uncontested early game, unless somebody maybe gets a couple shots from a distance. Meanwhile, over here at Mega Mall, Pika and Keenstar hanging out inside the shops. Quite a few chests, a lot of verticality inside. Tends to lead to audio-based fights and try and figure out whether your opponent is above or below, and how much these players play. If they're keen on those audio cues, they'll know almost immediately.
Rotating now down to Lucky Landing. Boog on the screen. Snazy there as well. First stink bomb coming on through. Doesn't actually wind up connecting with too much. 16 builds in total. Now remember, we do play with siphon settings on. So if you get an elimination, you earn 50 HP. So if you're at 74 total health, you'll gain 26 HP to go to max and 24 shield. Also, when you get the elimination, even if the opponent has 0 materials, they'll still drop 50 of each material type. So there's a lot of, especially early game reward, Dr. Lupo, in securing some of these eliminations.
Now, Snazy right now with the top down on his opponent, it looked like he's trying to use the stinks and that proximity grenade launcher just to try and find even one hit. Which at this point with such low ammunition, he's out of stinks now. He still has the 3 proxy grenade launcher shots. He's kind of burning through resources.
I was gonna say, he sees those grenades. I was thinking exactly that, yep.
Well, just trying to find a bead at this point. He knows based on the audio. Bugga is rotating back and forth in this little brick tunnel underneath. No tags quite yet, minus a little bit of HP with the stink earlier. Snazy still has the high ground here. Not a ton of materials, 18 builds. At some point, he's going to have to opt to either push this or rotate away, and now might be the time to rotate away, unless Bugga's going to push from behind. We'll see here. Big up.
Oh, wait, actually,
not
no,
even an upgrade. Never mind, he already has a gold combat number 4 slot there. Snazy Bugga separating from each other a little bit, not necessarily pressuring. Early game pressure at game 1 of 6 for the World Cup solos would be could be pretty advantageous. You get that siphon. He's looking for a shot. The heavy snipe. Work goes, and not quite enough. Bugga misses just behind as Snazy sneaks away from the higher floors of that north side building in Lucky.
Yeah, Bugga winds up seeing that middle cherry blossom tree get knocked down, and a lot of times in competitive games, players will just hit the trees down to 50 total HP left, but they won't fully remove them from the map because the animation of the tree breaking gives away your position. So if you want to make sure you stay a little bit more hidden in your games at home, only break trees down to 50 total health left and leave them. You'll get a ton of materials, but you'll also still remain as hidden as possible. Benji Fishy, a player with very high expectations for not only himself, but from the community here this weekend. Did play yesterday, I believe placed 14th with his duo, Mr. Savage. The first stink bomb comes on through, and with that damage, it looks like Benji Fishy wants a fight, but unfortunately does take 50 immediately from the back, and will go ahead and just give up his position for the moment.
A little bit of frustration on his face, and I can't blame him. Shots as he's attempting to push a little bit on Nate right there. Pleasant Park still inside the safe zone, so moving away from this doesn't have to happen just yet. We'll see. Nate takes an opportunity, rotates all the way across to that treehouse building in the southwest corner. Meanwhile, southwest of the entire map, Crew not alone down here. A little bit of a build fight back and forth, and they are not inside the zone. 91 players remain right now. Only 9 have gone down. It's early in the game. It's going to stay very, very high in the player count. Crew maybe waiting to see if that edit comes through. Doesn't quite. Storm waiting inside. We see this all the time. Just holding the edit inside the pyramid.
Yep.
He doesn't want to step out, potentially get shot. Rotate back down underneath and maybe check his other sides. Meanwhile, King led Wiki in a 1v1. King on the defensive. At this point, he might have the high ground. Oh my gosh. Sneaks the shotgun shot in right before the ramp can go down. Wiki.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
No. And you see King, a little bit of a smirk right there yesterday when we had a little bit of a, maybe I guess you could say trash talk in the game. It was Skeptic who winds up going down to Mongrel Mitro. This time I think King will live to see another fight, but ooh, I like some of this little spiciness to kick off game number 1. He wins that fight with a quick wall retake and edit on through. Over to Neo Tilted, Creo, Hornet, and Clicks currently within a couple buildings of each other. And you see on your screen on the backside, Lecce, Maw, and Mongrel still there as well.
Flutter Noise rotating through, looks like on a ball on the backside. Real quick, put the replay up of exactly how that played out. Storm here, inside that box just moments ago.
No.
Oh, full send into the air and does catch the shots there. The burst SMG proving useful even midair.
Burst SMG, probably not the exact item that players want, but still making use of it. Uh-oh, it's a corn fight. Dr. Lupo, you're used to this in Nebraska, as right now we've got
like
Rogue
home for
Shark.
me, Jack.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got a ton of skill in this one, as we see Rogue Shark currently dropping down the bandage for the moment. Already the ramp goes through, and Rogue Shark just wasn't ready for it. So if you didn't catch what happened right there, Dr. Lupo, a quick little breakdown. The campfire was placed, he lost control of his wall, but because he had no pyramid inside his box, the opponent placed a ramp and then edited past the ramp for extra cover. It's one of the fastest but most effective ways to take out an opponent when they're inside their 1-by-1. Left Eye did just get an elimination, does use that shockwave to get away from E-Rouse, but solid start as well, and I believe I did just see a fan favorite in Vivid in the elimination feed picking up his first elim.
Storm starting to move. We have 56 seconds. My apologies before the next circle closes, and it is a big crunch to the center of the map. You might not be able to see in the bottom right there, but folks, it is just northeast centered from Neo Tilted. Everyone is going to get pushed together into the city. Let's see here. Dubs. Very confident play, trying to push from the outside of Flint, knock from his opponent to rotate away, and Dubs does not want to let them go. 46 back-to-back hits, and he can't find a bead on Evil Mare. Goes down out here at the old Greasy Grove Ice Lake.
And you see Evil Mare with still just in total about 80 HP. Got the 50 back for the elimination, so when you calculate it, really only had about 30 health left. So Dubs so close, but not able to connect with that final combat shotgun shot. And Dr. Lupo, look at this inventory for Riverson, for Team Liquid. 6 shockwave grenades, 2 minis, 3 chug splashes, a launch pad. Weapons a little bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest. Just a scoped assault rifle and a epic tactical shotgun. But Storm Surge is coming to play, and Dr. Lupo, we haven't really touched on that yet today. Inform the viewers at home as to exactly what this is.
So Storm Surge is a mechanic to prevent players from potentially sitting and not engaging in fights. If there are a certain number of players at this point, when there's over 70, when this circle closes, people are going to start to take 25 damage every tick. That's every 5 seconds, unless they are over the threshold for the amount of damage done in the lobby. It's a way to encourage players to get engaged in fights without having to force anybody. You can't really just sit still the entire time. You've got to get engaged, get involved with what's going on.
And it ends when we go below that threshold. As we bring up this first threshold, you have to drop below 70 players. So Storm Surge will remain in play right now until 69 players is reached. You see Booga with an elimination, Blaster with one as well. Players above the damage threshold sitting pretty right now, but players who are below it, they're frantically searching for some damage they can do to try to get themselves in a safe spot.
Aqua on your screen, one of the World Cup duo champions from yesterday. Just outside of SD Divot, shots inside here. Colorful trying to rotate back away. Doesn't want to quite get caught just yet. Those splashes, by the way, one of the best healing items in the game right now in scrimmages and competitive Fortnite. An instant throw 20, and it's HP or shield. It'll transfer across both. May not be able to get this off quite yet. It's got to cancel.
He did.
Oh, he did indeed.
Yep.
Kurtz applying pressure from the side. Not a lot of ammunition right now in the inventory. Only 70 medium rounds for that heavy AR. Not the favorite for a spray weapon. Great at tap fire at a distance, though.
Look at how dead center this zone is in the bottom right of your screen. Mr. Savage did just get an elimination down on him often. Mr. Savage still alive in this one, looking to bounce back from yesterday. I know Mr. Savage wasn't too happy with the final performance. Kurtz still, we saw the player piece on him from Brazil, trying to rep for his family. Class elimination there as well onto Twins. And Storm Surge is now active for the players still above. So people will begin taking damage, and that's a solid chunk with that common tactical shotgun. But another player begins to throw their name into the hat. Dr. Lupo Kurtz, no more shield left. We'll back up for the moment.
At this point, with the circle where it is, we've got 60 seconds before things start to close, and I would say maybe a third of the field is still outside of the next safe zone. You're going to see a lot of players pushing to Loot Lake. You have to realize, if you're watching at home, if you're here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, competitive Fortnite is very much about late game strategy and positioning. 74 players right now remaining does not surprise us in the slightest, to be honest, especially with how much money is on the line. Harrians goes down. Start picking up that one, but not enough damage dealt. You see the Storm Surge. 2 more players need to get eliminated.
I think he just got up now as players began to drop. So Wakey went down to the Storm. Skype with an elimination onto Astonish. So we are 1 player away from the end of Storm Surge, and there it is as we just hit the threshold. So now no more panic has to come through for these players for the moment. The next one will come into play in a couple more zones, as Keenstar right now, the double qualified player from France, currently set on up against Envy's Bucky, as they are within a couple boxes of each other.
Just going to see exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay and his drop, and we've seen a big improvement since then. Quick shout out to Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one all the way here to the World Cup solo finals.
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory for 25 extra health?
It depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a victory royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. Here we go, the focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby. While those are still on, you have to remember those do turn off. Sky picking shots, I believe that's on DRG, just to the south. No pressure applied there. He's trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. Surprises me, doesn't go for the build there to protect and get a better spot.
Wow, that's solid damage though.
Just go for it.
Solid damage, and look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle. Still can swap to that when needed. Right now, choosing to go with the spray weapons. This is a player that's close. We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who played yesterday in the duos competition with Dubs. Dubs already dropped his game. We'll see how Mega plays this one. Gets to the opponent's box, 2 clean shots. And there it comes through, and near max materials, Slurp Juice as well as Chug Splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the eastern side of the current zone. And what we're seeing right now from Skype is Skype recognizes he's got extra materials back, so he's gonna run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map. A rocket being fired on the far side. Bizzle there still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Prisionero still boxed up in metal just outside the zone. And Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European players in the online qualifier, still in this one. But Zate was in the lead with Saf yesterday, 5 of the 6 games, but in the end, not able to close it out. As you see, just continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold of players, Dr. Lupo, 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination, though, down on the Stacey.
At this point, too, you have a lot of players. Crunch is going to start to happen. Player count starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zayd's inventory, a single Shadow Bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Not quite yet, though. He's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately swap to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone, while the player may not be paying attention. This could be a big one right here. Immediate swap, a 69 shield tag, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it.
Keep in mind,
And here we go.
keep in mind, no healing for Zayt, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights.
Oh, yeah.
Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it to their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen, Zayt, top left of your screen, both with 2 eliminations so far, and here comes Storm Surge for players pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu did just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number 1 there, and ooh, some free shock grenades to pick up Dr. Lupo will be extremely useful in these rotating zones, and oh man, Lolboom is eating the stink bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Terrible, terrible spot to be in for Lolboom.
Lolboom, a solo Irishman, qualified for the World Cup here. Gonna have to push on through and try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside. He might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. The way you see Vivid on your screen. Evil Mare still there as well. Saw him rotating in. Multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that
Look
build.
at the, yeah.
Oh
this
my
is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edit reset, can't quite catch himself just yet.
Uga's still making plays happen. A lot of people have him high up on the leaders, and here it is again. Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on, down onto Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Rough start in game number 1. Bizzle, one of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time, Dr. Lupo. When you say a veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again, now on the high ground after that first elimination down onto Aqua, looking for more right now as he's got ultimate high.
This is one of the best spots in the game right now. We'll have to see where the map is going to rotate, the north-northwest, so he's going to have to make a move soon. A very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads, does have the redeploy, but those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back, King. Rotation here. The feed starting to light up. 38 players.
Oh, yeah.
And that count is going to go down, down, down. Zayt eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up another one out as well. King, 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. But those are 4 very, very big points. Here we go, the Storm starting to pressure players. You're going to see a lot of launch pads and redeploys coming to play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground would be tough. A player actually just flew right through King's box.
That could have been bad, Dr. Lupo. That could have been real bad.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Benji fishing the feed, taking another elimination. Top 35 now, Jacks. We're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes for the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game 1 right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left on the low ground right now. You've got Pika week, Class week, Fledermoy's week, Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep height. Yarkos, though, looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high in the backside there. Riverside from Team Liquid flying across right to left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King! King at 7 limbs!
Gosh.
And has made it into placements. King absolutely the #1 performance so far in game 1. 120 in total HP. Can he find us a limb? No! As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now, though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. Waylon Kurtz going down to the feed. What a shot and a quick edit swap there. Uga showing why he's one of the most active
Top 15.
players. Top 15. Meg with an elim. Your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names. Here he's going to have to wait and bait players out. Movement now. Here it is. The Shadow Bomb for rotation. He's still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have 3 shockwave grenades as well, in case height needs to be taken, or even a long-range rotation. 8 players remaining. Jack Yarkos, 4 eliminations. Everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above and goes down. No builds, gonna be tough there. Psalm picking up that Elam. Bugha though, 5 right now moving forward.
But not only that, 2 shadow bombs left, still with shockwave grenades too. The #1 point we've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when do you use the shockwave to go for height? It's Psalm currently on height. Bugha sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No, shadow bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
You were looking for a high ground.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
He's saving those. Don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the storm, the box up. He's going for edit shots. Big hit.
My gosh.
The outside. Bugha picking up his 6th elimination. Creo, Rux, Bugha all on the low ground. Bella EU.
One player to shockwave the height. It's still Psalm up top.
Still got it. Same floor as Creo. 1v1 up top. 1v1 on the bottom. Stuck in the box. Big hits. Back-to-back shots. Bugha picking up another elimination.
Bugha is insane
now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see here another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale, the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Bugha smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo.
He does.
Folks, it might be time for the shockwave play. Bugha could soar up into the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave to height. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Bugha. What a monster. The first victory royale.
The crowd on their feet. Bugha, calm, cool, and collected, wipes out 5 of the last top 6 players for the victory royale. What a swing of points right there, Dr. Lupo. You get the win. You get max placement points. 9 elims too. Folks, that is a statement game #1 for Bugha. And here it is again. The shockwave up. Creo tried to prepare. You see the damage coming on through, but at that point, with that much of a health advantage, Creo stands no shot. What a brilliant ending. Talk about a great late game. Solos absolutely living up to the hype of the duo competition yesterday.
Imagine being in the World Cup finals, and instead of opting for a safe, stay down the bottom, wait, bait your shots, you throw a shockwave down and you ascend to the high ground, take over, and get the victory royale.
Much deserved game 1 victory right there. The #1 thing I noticed from Bugha, in the shadow bombs, so many people worry so much about popping out of the shadow and immediately boxing and protecting themselves. Instead, Bugha winds up pushing forward, looking for where his next victim could be, and then pops out of the shadow and eliminates the player. It happened 3 times right there, and it was big reasons why he was able to push on through. Bugha, an incredible performance. What is that, 19 points in game number 1?
Game number 1.
I don't see how anyone's above that.
At this point, I mean, we're going to take a look exactly to see where
like I predicted it.
That falls on the leaderboards. No surprise here, a 9-point lead out of game 1. King, 7 eliminations. We saw that earlier. Sadly, goes down a little bit before those top couple placements. Psalm, Rux, Yarkos, ton of top-tier players across the board right now. But a 9-point lead after game 1 is absolutely incredible.
And you look at the leaderboard right now, a big talk of yesterday, EU versus NA. EU, why so quiet earlier in the day? NA, why so quiet at the end of the day? 8 of the 10 top players after game 1, all from the US. Here's your 11th through 20th place right now. Benji Fishy on there, Evil Mare on there as well. But a fantastic start to today, and I'm loving the energy from this crowd at the first ever Fortnite World Cup. They saw how good the competition was yesterday, and I know everyone was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Bugha take game number 1. He's down on the floor with Jordan Fisher.
Bugha! Huge first game for the NA player. That's what you want to see. You want a health advantage at the end. 9 elims to cap off an incredible first game. What is your thought process going into the final moments of in-game, right? A 1v1 there at the end. You've got health advantage. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty much low ground. I have like 200 mats, and I realized that I could probably make a play with the impulse, just go for it and just like get a big pump on him.
Amazing. Well, we saw that happen in real time. An amazing clutch for an end of a first game for Booga. Yo, Jack, Lupo, that is exactly what you want to see, is it not?
I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more than that. A victory royale and 9 limbs. The man is so talented, has always been one of the top solo players in the North American region, and he shows it right there in game 1, and already a 9-point lead. Solid, solid stuff.
What an incredible game out of the gate already. Number 1 down. We have 5 left to go. We want to take a look and see exactly how some of those pieces played out, how everything worked, and maybe a little bit of a deep dive into how some of these players play. So we're going to throw it over to Sundown at Unreal Islands. Take a look.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And while Booga was able to dominate the rest of the lobby, I want to take a look at one of the other most marquee and aggressive players we saw. He had the entire lobby saying, Toda salve al rey de Argentina. It is king of 9Z with an incredible 70 elimination run in 20th place. Let's take a look at some of this gameplay. So right away, you'll notice, what is he doing? He's his patented going forward, wall replace on land 123. That's going to be the theme of these clips. He doesn't miss his shots, and he's not afraid to flex either. Throwing the donkey laugh out there, throwing him a little love, saying, I don't care who you are. Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fights, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now watch on the spree he's on. 5 elims right now. Cones himself off. Look at this. The player challenges him. He's not building. He's going at him. He says, if you want to fight me, I shoot first. I am the king. Was able to go, but unfortunately gets caught there in the rotation, but still a brilliant performance from the young Argentinian. He's looking to challenge. He's looking to frag out with the best of the best, putting himself currently sitting in the number 2 spot. He has played so absurdly well in that first game. This is what it's all about. If you can bring your aggression, what you do in the qualifiers, and take it to this stage, and you don't have nerves. If you're like Booga and say, I'm gonna go. If you're like King and say, you wanna edit, I'll shoot first. I'll take the 50 health on Elim there, and I will take the point in staying in the match. You can wait and watch me dominate. Let's get into match 2, because that first match was insane. Courage and Lupo, take it away, guys.
Sundown, thank you so much. Appreciate the quick analysis of everything that happened in the middle of that game. A lot of action here at the Fortnite World Cup solo competition. This is the last day for the entire event as well. I hope everyone has enjoyed Marshmallow's concert. We have tons of people here in the crowd.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's just been ridiculous. So much fun.
My Italian family was out there, 25 people deep. They've got a full deli layout. Unfortunately, my Aunt Lorraine down in Florida, I know you're watching. Shout out, we love you, miss you. But no, they're all here for their first ever event too. It is an incredible energy in here. And you know, guys in the venue, do you guys want to see another Fortnite World Cup next year? Should we do this again?
I'm thinking, yeah, Jim.
All right, budget's approved, Epic, it's happening. But folks, let's get back into the action. Game number 2 about to begin. Booga, the superstar of game 1, the talk on all social media with the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What a play. The lobby is ready. The players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the venue, are you ready? Game 2 of the solos competition here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals starts right now.
After last game, I have a feeling you're going to see maybe potentially more contested drops and players vying for those points, seeing exactly what can be done now. Booga bringing home 9 eliminations in that first game. I think the next 2 closest were 7-4, and then everybody was below that. Yarkos, I think, having 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, Jack.
Yep.
Knowing that we still have 5 remaining, knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. And by the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself.
No
Again,
one.
Clipnote didn't want to challenge it this time.
No one nearby at all. And also on that map, look at the 2 llamas. right outside a racetrack. It looks like one player's about to go claim him. Also, Bizzle, who basically lands in Dusty Divot uncontested, I believe already got a llama in this one. So some great movement will be up there for them. Here again, the stats for last match. First place, the Victory Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 limbs. Sitting pretty, 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game, seeing an average placement stat of first, that's something I would screenshot just to hold on to. Yeah,
Best player in the world.
I averaged first through all the games that have been played.
Here is Aqua versus Twins Aqua, as we can't stress enough, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos. Only with a common SMG is Twins, and Pumps being missed left and right from Aqua. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination, what we saw earlier.
Gosh.
And it was Bizzle with the common pistol and then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of Dusty Divot.
Kovacs out of his mind. By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. That's so many eliminations to get to this point.
Yeah.
Over 10 games,
It's
that's huge.
And most players didn't even get to play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region when it was going on
right
through.
there.
Yep.
2 shadow bombs. Already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Going to need to pick up maybe one more movement ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura, Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet. My least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are and know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what? Let me roll away for right now. We'll give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores. It's Hornet putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. More of a southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in Game 1 and Game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map, looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Boy, plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Going to push inside the box. Can't quite get the wall if the trap was placed. No luck there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible without having to chew through too many rounds. Reload here. The drum shotgun. So much damage dealt with this thing so far. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet still on the defensive. Long-range spray from a drum shotgun isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after the eliminations. That's 2 so far. This is spicy.
Jack, you love
I mean, I love this.
You love it.
I get like 1 elim for every 3 games. So every time I have the option to emote on an opponent, it's fantastic.
A very important note there. Nyx had the most eliminations in the online opens at 61 during his qualifying week. That's crazy too. And Nyx from Brazil. We often saw very aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do was kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talked about how insane it was. Here's the inventory for Tfue right now. 4 minis, 3 big shields.
Good lord.
4 shadow bombs.
Good lord.
A launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well. This is what happens when you give this man block all by himself.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the game. Gobab's over on the right side of your screen, going to try and take that southeast corner building, see if there's anything left inside. But there's so much loot here at the block, so many materials, so many opportunities to get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before. This baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. It's also not terribly far from a slipstream to the south, just past the umbrella. Glory down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage stuck in a 1v1 down here at Happy Hamlet. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map on the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. Audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer in case fighting does happen here. I think Mr. Savage going to rotate out.
Here is Tfue with a player just in front. It's like a fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent just ahead, but you got to think, okay, so there is a health advantage. Maybe Tfue did a bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up. So it does look like Tfue damaged the player, thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very, very soon going to have to move towards the zone.
If you're watching online and you get an opportunity here to clip some shots from Tfue, it's going to be very accurate. We've seen it before, and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tfue. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect this opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, has to pop one of those big shields, and Kluja says, you know what? I'm out of here, and the zone's already there, so Tfue has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use a launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage from this storm.
If there is a rift spawn up at the burger, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Booga eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. Let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Keysar holding an edit here. Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find it. Player backs out of that. Not fast enough to get it.
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Big names eliminated early in this game 2, the World Cup solos. Keysar holding this edit yet again. Just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player make a move. This might be an opportunity to make a play here. Twins kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. Quick little resets. Going to go for a wall replace. Does get it. Pressure applied. Going to jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is. A shot from the side does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there with the shot. He can try and rotate up on the outside. Getting pressured against the edge of the storm, and a build off is kind of the only answer at this point. Quick, and it's down. Doesn't quite find that the player inside ahead of him has the lead. Another big hit. 14 HP left for Twins. A build fight is all he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if the player inside is smart enough, Keemstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. One pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
They're almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these two titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keemstar finding the lead with the shotty there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone #2 will be for everyone on this map.
Actually, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have a long, long run ahead. Look at that.
All the
a third
way
of
to
the
the
zone
south side.
Off the map.
Not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you've got nothing on the south end of the safe zone. The players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75. And Storm Surge now getting ready to kick in. You have 5 players that need to go down before damage starts to go out to those that have not dealt enough of it.
Yep.
Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You heard that minigun. One of the very, very, very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Let it fight the top left of your screen there. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Caught above, but headed down. Can't quite find the first shot. Follows through with a second, third, fourth, and the elimination.
He had 1 health left. If you looked after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health. and goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends.
Trying to get the wall there, can't quite find it. Quick edit up and out.
Solid
Gonna make the rotation away. Waiting. This is just an opportunity. He's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is gonna head out. Shockwave. Lecce hits the tree. It might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed crit. Here we go. Shot from behind. Can't quite make contact yet.
Zone now hitting for 2 as well.
Player's gonna have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active. He's way above, and those bandages are gonna be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. But she took the high ground temporarily here.
They're at a point now where they basically just, one of them needs to get in the fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage. 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. A shot, no! Marvin wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back up to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up, and it's even more southwest. Tfue still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations, still though with this magnificent inventory for the late game.
I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage, knowing that they're not healing through their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage, means you don't even have to be as active as before. That shotgun, Tfue take a couple shots, and that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb, a little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that why they call it a Shadow Bomb, Jack?
Not entirely sure yet, as I'm still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone. Is he going to use the launch pad? He's going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here. Oh,
no damage being applied. Gonna attempt to try and bait. Doesn't put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the zip. Chooses not to. Flying past multiple players in.
Shadow Bomb.
Move, and here we go. Shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tfue, and he's going to have to box up for just a second. There it is. Shadow Bomb and door edit. Making a move on the outside. He is in the shadow form still, and you can keep this by jumping against the wall.
That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Gotta be disappointed there. Big hit from above, down to 55 HP. Tfue, the edit from the outside, and he is eliminated by King.
And look who it is again. King, the player with 7 eliminations in game number 1, keeps the aggression going. In game 2, the heavy sniper that immediately destroys that wall and is rewarded with incredible loot, almost max builds as well. Tfue, a very quiet start to today's World Cup competition.
Here's that elimination on Tfue, shot from above. A little bit of shield damage, but a big hit from the outside, using a heavy snipe to take that wall almost instantly. Very intelligent play there. Again, more aggressive players we've seen thus far.
Yep, and it's working out up to this point.
Oh my gosh, this is back down at Happy Hamlet, right on the edge. So many players on the east side of the safe zone, and this is a far southwest. Remember, about a third of it is in the water right now. Nobody's on the island, the outside. We're going to see where this goes next. There it is, focused just to the west. That submarine atop the ice mountain right there.
But look at how many players are stacked on the right side of that zone. So if you're currently in this next zone, on that north or east side, you can put a ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. A drop coming on through. Crew boxed up, Creo boxed up. Rux, under 100 health, has to play this one safely, but they are so far on the east side of the zone. The Storm is going to move quite quick, Ben. And they've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shockwave used. Rux trying to shoot them from behind. Not able to get elimination there. Clats so far away. Will use the launch pad and just begin to move towards this circle.
You have to think at this point with both placement and eliminations before too long here. King maybe taking an opportunity to push into the first place position on the leaderboards, especially with Bugha going down so early in this game, 90th place.
I love this outfit from Rux right now.
He's a dinosaur.
No, I'm talking about his real life outfit.
He's a dinosaur.
He's set up to play in the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him.
Listen, class is everything, Jack.
I mean, the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. A Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux. But
only a 6 damage tag from the side there. Doesn't have to panic too much. That I would panic a little more about.
When you have no movement, and you're that far from the zone, it's literally exactly what I just spoke about. King on your screen, but also someone we haven't spoken a lot about, Reverse 2K. Duo with Ninja, unable to qualify together for this competition, but did make it into solos, and now seeing what he can do by himself, was on the far side of this zone, so also not a fun spot by any means.
Quick note, King currently has the highest damage in the match, 574, meaning, like I said, that aggressive gameplay. Still in it, still trying to win, still trying to get the beat on players, and a quick beam on Aspect up the ramp, caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall, gets the follow through with the edit. Nate goes down. He is playing out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible, and look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows prime real estate is available. This is one of the most insane zones I've seen. Look at, no one's in it. No one's in it.
Quick couple notes about King, one of our players from Argentina. He is the minimum age required in order to play in the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-old savant.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height. Vivid is still alive in this game. Artfro is still alive in this game. Draken's still alive in this game. What does King use here? Looks like will again place the launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up and basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. I mean, I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age.
Probably.
And enough ice cream to, well, don't really know where I was going with that one, but to be honest, there's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Going to have to hold a wall for just a moment. Little drop down. I like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain on the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkram in the feed. Pick it up. And Elim on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky, multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note. 4 more from placement points, which if you make it the top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now.
Shots through. That minigun, a quick swap there, picks the shotty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Trying to do just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Gonna look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt the Shockwave into a Shadow Bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there for positioning the King, the star of the show thus far for game 2. 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out. And that's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. The left side of your screen, now the full screen. Emku still moving through. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy still alive in this game, just took down Drakens. Down the hill we go. Rogue Shark on height right now, but we'll need to waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still baller on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP. Under 10, no, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this, it'll be an absolute miracle. And no, down goes King, but I think one of the crowd favorites beginning to emerge today. Fantastic performance at this point. Benji Fishy goes down as well.
A little bit of a crowd building up behind him. Dubs still in a baller at the bottom.
Top 15.
Star sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is at the bottom of your screen on the left with Road Shark remaining up top, forced into the drop. Let's get away. Looks like a shadow bomb to save from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation up to the ultimate high ground.
Vivid's on height.
Still there too.
Vivid's on height.
It's an opportunity here. It can capitalize and take shots on all these players rotating. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pop them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's going to get you to better place.
Look at the ballers. The ballers beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop a mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building on up. Arkham in your elimination feed now into our top 10. Issa, the controller god as many regard him as, takes down Sam. Another one onto Thatch too. So Issa from Europe getting involved in this game as well. Vivid and Road Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. This is game 2 of 6. And oh no, Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no, this is mine, young man, and takes it right back. No mats, no mats, no life. Vivid is out of this game. But he got the limb. He got the limb on the Road Shark.
He's at 2 eliminations, sitting in the middle of the pack right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone right now. Player going down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Issa goes down, placed in 4th. A 1v1. Dubs, the ultimate high ground. The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position.
Down low, it's Dubs for Skype.
A little bit of a build-off between the two, layering defensively against each other, but Dubs,
no builds.
One build. The flint knock to save him on the drop might be the play just outside ahead of the build. Maybe can catch himself.
Oh my gosh,
on his opponent. Around, inside the storm. This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, into the safe zone, doubling back, another one, a valiant effort. He's got to find a bead, but he won't be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 goes to Skype.
Skype had 27 health left, 8 HP. If he took one hit from the storm, he was dead, but he clutches on up. We heard in the interview earlier, he said, I'm gonna play my game, win, do what I do best, and Skype does it there. Dubs, what a valiant effort. Look at that. Look at it, Skype's HP. Literally one storm tick would have been enough, but Dubs had no mats left and unfortunately didn't wind up making it up that mountain. Skype just wins, and there you see the celebration. Game 2 goes to EU as Skype comes out on top.
Single elimination, 11 points for Skype. Gonna be great for the leaderboard. We'll have to see exactly where they end up. But a big, just honestly, a maximum effort from Dubs was insane to try and stay inside. Absolutely incredible. Here's your leaderboard as it stands right now. First place being held by Booga. 9 elims, 19 points from that first game. No showing in the second game, but it's still enough to keep him all the way at the top. But King slowly climbing his way up to the top, just behind now by only 1 point.
Folks, King can't drive because he's 13, but he can win $3 million today. When you talk about lives being changed, it's what the Fortnite World Cup Finals is all about. And now our crazy 9-point lead is down to just 1, 1st through 10th within arm's reach. Our top 20 absolutely there as well. This is still anybody's game.
Same, the spread between 1st and 20th still very, very close. Anybody can climb all the way to the top in an instant, as we've seen countless times in the 10 weeks of qualifying all the way to here. New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, and this is the final day. Jack, today we give away $15 million in prizing.
It is absolutely crazy.
It's insane.
The energy in here so far today. I'm sure everyone's having a blast watching. Games 1 and 2, fantastic. So much happened. even more than we can probably even take in, and that's why we've got great people like Balla to help us out.
Thank you so much, Courage. Yes, I'm here. We have a ton of awesome plays, a lot of action unfolding in that game. I'm going to help break it down. We're going to hop in with King, who got so many eliminations this game, no placement points. But if you recall, the beginning of this, nice tags here, gets the player white damage. He knows he has health. He knows he just has only health, no shield. He just continues forward and goes for the box fight. In the second zone, the zone is about to start coming in. He has no fear, the aggressiveness of the player, and the double edit makes him fall right back into his own box that he had a floor on already, gets the cone on top. That's Leleo, another player from South America, but he continues to take out big names, and here is Tfue. He tags him a little bit, but then pulls out the heavy sniper right as Tfue takes the box, and because of that, that came as a surprise to Tfue that he could bring out the heavy sniper, take the wall right in that instance. Usually he'd be expecting the pickaxe on the wall, but the heavy sniper, speed. Now King, continuing to look forward, continue to look towards the zone where players come from. It's Aspect that he takes out. That's 3 eliminations, but he goes on forward and grabs another one with great awareness onto Nate. So unbelievable play from here. King is just racking up elims. Again, no placement points in this game, but he still pushed himself within distance of Booga, who Booga went down earlier there. He took out Clicks as well in the box. And he's taken out Aspect, he's taken out Tfue, he's taken out Clicks. These are some of the best box fighters in the world. But now, King, he's saying, hey, I'm here at the Fortnite World Cup. I am one of the best box fighters in the world as well. So guys, that's King, the story so far. He's climbing the ranks, he's inching ever so closer to Booga. Gentlemen, back to you.
Great stuff, Balla, and yeah, a fantastic breakdown of how King has made it up to our second place spot so far. We were only a third of the way through today's competition on the road to crowning a Fortnite World Champion. Thoughts after games 1 and 2?
I love to see the aggressive gameplay from King and others. Those kind of plays you don't often see in the Fortnite World Cup or really any competitive play. A lot of players are waiting for those opportunities to maybe get shots on players that are moving, that kind of thing. It's been great to see, and obviously a crowd favorite here, as we've heard people erupt every time he pushes into the box. What about you thus far?
Crazy action. I'm really interested to see how these different landings continue. We've already seen games 1 to game 2, people switch up their spots, land at different areas, and sometimes it's come back to bite them. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us two for right now. We'll be back later today, but down on the floor we have Zeke with some more information on our players.
Thank you so much, Lupo, Courage. Man, what an insane first 2 games here on the first day, or the final day of Solos competition. Booga with insane shockwave play to give him the high ground. And then here, Skype, his positioning on point, which gave him the win over Dubs. I mean, you guys, and of course, the Marshmallow performance. If you guys are here, how have you enjoyed the day so far? What do you think? Some of you are still sleeping. Guys, what do you think? This is it, the final day! There it is. You're awake. I appreciate that. Now, of course, guys, we've been getting through this Fortnite action all weekend long. But don't forget, we actually had creative happening earlier on Friday. Now, if you remember, there was a certain team captain with a great crew. They won, and they became the first ever Fortnite World Cup creative champions. And that was the Fish Fam led by team leader Scissors. Now, we felt we probably should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that.
Kitty Plays, and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World Cup. First of all, congratulations. Now, Scissors, how does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's kind of awesome considering I love creative mode. It's thriving, it's awesome, I love it.
Now, Tyler, did you ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
Yeah, I always knew we had it in the bag. You know, we're the week 1 qualifiers. We're the most stacked team. There was no competition. Just when the last map was a death run, I knew we had that in the bag. We got some good players here. I knew Zan would clutch up, and he did just that.
You could tell he lifted the finger. He said, we need 1 coin. Just grab this coin right down here. If he can do this
Zan,
without being eliminated.
Here it is. The win. Oh, he missed it, but gets it with the trap trigger.
You realize that 1 jump won this group here an extra $1 million.
It's unreal. Like, if you want to practice with death runs, you need to like do it slow. Don't go in blindly. Like, try and like change everything you do every time you fail.
Suzu, can you see yourself doing even more with creative? I mean, the success of today. Will you continue to go and play creative maps?
I think I would definitely stay consistent with creative because I feel like there's a lot of potential in creative still. And yeah, definitely this is my thing.
But I want to go down the line and see what each of you guys plan on doing with that prize.
I'll probably end up like saving most of the money, maybe like some investments.
He's 18 and he just won $336,000. What are you going to do with the prize?
Rent? Rent. Yeah, I think rent.
I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna save my money.
I am going to be responsible and probably just invest most of it and try and get even more money back.
All right, guys, congratulations again. Absolutely outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what the future of Creative Fortnite looks like.
Once again, massive props to Scissors and the Fish fam. They worked as a unit, and that's what got them the dub in the end. The grandfather of creative shows up huge here on this stage. Now, of course, guys, we know you want to get back into games. I want to get back into games too, but first, let's just make sure they give a little bit of a break to the players. We'll hop back in as soon as we can. Now, I did talk about creative a little bit, but don't forget, we also had that celebrity pro-am. Players and people from different walks of life all came together to take part on this stage and play for charity. Now, of course, we had Ninja and Marshmallow, your 2018 Pro-Am defending champions that faced off against Airwalks and RL Grime, your Summer Block Party Pro-Am champions. And the winners in the end were actually Grimes and Airwax. They are two-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check in with them and see how they're doing.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
It felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grime, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminations. How did you change your playstyle from last Pro-Am to this Pro-Am?
I think we learned a lot from the last one, just that you focus on late game a little bit, and I just sort of let him lead the way and made it happen.
How did it feel to play with a potential World Cup duo winner?
It's amazing. I'm actually going to come tomorrow and sit in the stands and cheer for my man Airwalks, yeah.
Maybe make an Airwalks sign and wave it in the air?
Maybe a 98 bot sign. I'll hold it up.
Good luck on the event tomorrow. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am.
Man, Grimes and Airwax coming in clutch. Very happy for those two, but I'm actually happy for this guy right here. This is one half of your Duos World Champions. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here, right now. Show him that you love him. How does that make you feel? You got all these crowds.
That's great. Feels amazing.
There you go. Now, Nyrox, let's chat a little bit, right? Because you played yesterday, like I talked about, in the duo competition. Your partner, Aqua, is actually playing today in the solo competition. So what advice did you give him heading into these games?
I told him earlier this morning that he should stick with the plan we had yesterday. And even if he has a bad start, he can still make a comeback like we did. And he can still take the trophy home.
That's pretty good advice, pretty good advice. Now, you're already a world champion. You've got the title. So how does it feel now that you've got this title, you're here, you get to experience this and watch the solo competition, you know, how are you feeling after all that?
I mean, it feels amazing winning the duo, even though I want to compete in solo as well. But hopefully this gives me confidence in solos, which makes me do better in solo next tournament.
Okay. One final question for you. This morning, you know, obviously yesterday was a huge day. You had a night to kind of sleep on it, and then you woke up the next morning. Did it sink in? You know, how did you feel the next morning when you're like, man, I'm a world champion?
It feels surreal. It doesn't really feel like I've won anything because it was so big. It was almost too big to imagine. But yeah, it feels amazing.
Well, again, massive congrats to you. One half of our world champions. Again, give him some love, Fortnite fam. Thank you again, Nyrox. Appreciate your time. Now, there's actually another player we want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so let's see what he's got to say.
I'm Skite from Lustream. I'm French, coming from Paris. I've been preparing the finals by playing customs and playing every day with friends or mates. It was hard in the beginning because my wrist was a little bit broken, so I just wait and then I qualified for the boss in the last 2 weeks. I definitely want to thank my team because they support me a lot when I was playing qualifier. In here we are more aggressive and NA is a little bit slower, so we try to play a little bit safe. I think maybe Zayt is really good and I want to take him down. I don't think playing in Stadium will affect my gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone and I'm just excited to play.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, Skite, this guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Skite, you know this. I'm a huge fan. Now, guys, there's so many players. There's 100 here that I wish we could spend so much time talking to every single one individually. But let's actually dive in specifically to one, and that's a Mr. Vivid. You know, Mr. Clutchman himself. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there. But don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him. So let's watch this together.
I live in South Jersey in a small town. Population of under 1,000. You see a couple of cars pass by your house. It's quiet, so it's nice. Here, I played Fortnite at the highest level.
Vivid picks it up. Gets the elimination.
My name is Noah Wright.
Oh, yeah, bud.
Also known as Vivid.
Let's go, dude.
I am 21 years old. I've been playing competitive Fortnite for almost a year now.
Vivid, a familiar name to a lot of fans.
What makes me a successful player is probably all the hours that I put into it. The schedule gets kind of crazy, but I'll keep myself in good shape. I will do a workout routine, 20 minutes on the exercise bike, 15 minutes of stretching, and then back to playing Fortnite.
Look at that! I don't know what's hitting you, bud. What's hitting you?
Just having fun.
Vivid popping off. Taking that victory royale. That was insane.
I live with my dad. We've always been really close. All he ever wants to do is fish. He takes care of everything around the house. It makes everything really convenient in terms of, playing games and just being able to focus on that.
Our schedules work pretty well. When I get done work, he's usually up gaming, so we do spend a little bit of time talking and going through the day's activities. Noah and I helped each other very much getting through the difficult time.
When I was 10, my mom passed away. She passed away to a cancer called small cell carcinoma. It definitely made me mature a lot. Made me realize how much my mom actually did for me.
Noah's mom had a very big impact on his life. She set the ground rules, making sure the grades were all straight A's, and he could go into gaming.
I credit a lot of my success to her.
Well done, Darren! But he's gonna catch him in the air, and Vivid's gonna get the victory royale! What a game from Vivid.
Knowing that I'm successful at doing what I love to do, that would just make her really happy.
Ready?
Yeah. Fortnite granted me with a decent amount of money. I can help my dad out now, so I got on the boat.
He presented it to me for being a great father, bringing him up since their mother passed away.
I actually haven't been on the boat yet, so this weekend I'm going to go on the boat for the first time.
Getting him on the boat and back on the water again, one of my ultimate dreams.
Looks nice.
What do you think Mom would say?
She'd like it.
I love it. I want to thank you for this and everything. It made me happy. What do you think of your first trip out here?
It's nice.
Now you gotta come out more often.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to keep myself together right now. I know how you're feeling, Vivid. I am very close to my own mom, and she means the world. If you guys have a chance here to meet Vivid, he is genuinely one of the most hardworking, kindest people you will ever meet in your entire life. If you can say hello, take time to do it. I promise you will not be disappointed. And of course, Fortnite fam, we got to keep the games coming. Games are about to be underway. The players are back. They are ready to board the battle bus. So for now, we're going to send it back up to none other than Monster D-Face, Golden Boy, House DJ Mike Realm. Bring the heat.
All right, into some more games and good news. We got you covered. Welcome everyone. Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face. We're going to call games 3 and 4 of the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. And man, you couldn't have asked for two better games to start things off, Monster. Craziness through and through, top to bottom. Best players in the world, and they're showing up here on the world stage.
I mean, you guys saw the reaction. Booga with the insane game one had us jumping out of our seats, quite literally. And man, Sky, at the final moments, I thought we were going to see a victory comeback from Dubs with a flint knock shockwave to, shake up the entire place.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah, it was very, it was a nail biter. Let's just put it like that. But let's run over the format and how this whole thing's worked. So at top 25, players will start to get 3 points. Then we move on to 15th place. At that point, all the players that are still remaining will get an additional 2 points, making it a total of 5. Then after that, if they get to the top 5, they'll add 2 more points to that, making it a 7-point total earned for staying alive all the way until the end. But if you get that victory royale, you get a total of 10 points, so +3 coming out of the top 5 there. And each elimination is going to count for 1 point. So look for these players to play for the placement. Some, like King, want to play for those eliminations. And then the prizing, it's all on the line for $3 million for the first place prize, 1.8 million for second, 1.2 million for third, and then 1 million as well, plus for fourth. That is crazy. That's a lot of money.
You know, yesterday the duos had to split it. Today, it all goes to you, right? It's just a solo competitor. So, and everyone here is a winner. We're here to celebrate every single player that has made it this far. If you stepped onto this stage, you are already a winner.
The marathon that they took to get up to this point, Bananas, to say the least. 10 weeks, grueling competition in both solos and duos. And for a lot of our competitors, they had to prep not just for the competition today, but also yesterday. Now, we're already 2 games in. We had mentioned some of the players that had performed very well, right? You're Booga, who had a monumental game 1. And then you also had Skype, who was able to just outlive everyone else and stay alive. But it is Booga who still holds first place, but by 1 point, because Argentina's very own King is looking to contend that, and that is crazy. I mean, talking about aggression, this guy embodies it.
Yeah, you've seen him time in and time out. It's players like King that really make these tournaments interesting to watch for the spectators at home, for everyone here in the audience. You gotta have your King show up and bring that action all the way through to the end. And it's not to discredit anyone who made it this far. These guys are still in the running.
Yeah, it's only 2 games in. Games 3 and 4 are going to be just as important. Players are going to have to step it up if they want to get within the top 20 here. There's just so much on the line. There you see Booga, who's getting ready, getting prepped up. Everyone is so hyped up here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. And I don't even know what to expect, man. Game 3, like, what are we even going to get? We're seeing early aggression here from a lot of the South American players. Our players that we talked to from North America and Europe said that was what they wanted to avoid, was the South American aggression, the OCE aggression. But this time it's South America that's showing up, Monster.
And not to bring it up, but you saw exactly what happened when King walked into Tfue. He just saw him trying to shadow bomb peacefully to the zone. They were not safe, by the way. They still had to make it through to Happy Hamlin, but King said, you know what, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna take this fight. And that is how the Brazilian region does.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. They just want to take the fight. They want to go right at your face. They don't care who you are. Listen, you can have millions of subscribers on YouTube. You can have all the Twitch Prime subs. You can have all the fame and the fortune. But at the end of the day, everyone that's in that game, they're all equal. There is no upper hand depending on how popular you are, and you shouldn't be treated that way either. You should just go at them with everything you got, because that's what it's going to take to walk out of New York City with $3 million in your pocket, which, by the way, you'd have to have a very big pocket for that.
Take a look there. Benji Fishy has been showing up.
I told him to play to the crowd. I said, play to the crowd. Have some fun with him.
Yeah, good to see him smiling. We were there in the warm-up games. He was a little timid, but Benji, loosen up, buddy. There goes Mr. Savage. And the rest of our competitors, Creo, Kinstar, Vivid, of course. This is a big moment for everyone here. Game 3's close.
And it must be cool as well to see you guys. Give him a round of applause. He waved to everybody. He waved to everybody. That's not bad. All right, so here we go, folks. It's now time to jump into game number 3 here for the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. The countdown has begun. The players are loaded up in the battle bus. This is it. All on the line. Let's see who will take away another victory royale, or will we see one of our 2 winners get back-to-back wins, get double wins? That will be massive for them. Oh man, I'm excited, Monster.
And so far, Aqua has been the only player to prove that he can win on a stage of this magnitude. But just to give you guys a little context on the bus here, this is a bus coming from the south to the north side. So all of your competitors are going to get, yes, a fair split at the map here. And that's exactly what you like to see. You want everyone to have a fair shot at the map. So let's go and see as Skype is looking to land here. We saw Skype win that last game.
Yep.
It's just outside of Pleasant Park. He's probably playing for some ballers here in our top 10 over on the left-hand side here, Golden Boy. Booga, King, Commandment, Psalm, one of our competitive veterans doing so great right here. Even with that 1 win, though, Sky is still in 6th place.
Yeah, it's wild to think about that. That's what it took for him to be able to climb up into the top 10. Only 2 eliminations to his name currently standing. But we're going to keep eyes for the time being here as we head on over to Junk Junction. There's a hot spot there as well.
We have talked to some players about landing for hot spots.
I actually just got word from production in the back. King has been eliminated off spawn.
Wow, that's huge. That's going to be a real big setback. We've seen players like Zaith and Saf really fall behind yesterday off of one game not going their way.
That is rough, man. That is certainly not going to be pretty for him. But hey, you have 3 more games remaining. You just got to shake that one off. Moving on, though, we're checking out the action at hand here. You're going to have Tuzo pushed right in. He's going to make him pay. That's going to be an elimination on to Fledermois. Well done. Number 1 on the board.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust myself with that Magnum, but he gets right up on him and hits him in the chest. Here now with Crew.
That was the shot. Oh, Crew, no chill. Right on the sky platform, too.
That was how King was taken out. Couldn't even land safely. Got pinched right out the sky. That's rough.
Because there's nothing you can do. You're in a glider state. You're just floating down. You're hoping that no one's looking right at you. The players at this point, they're going to go for those shots, those open opportunities. Then you got Tuzi, who had just picked up an elimination earlier on. The circle is going to be over in the ice biome, so by the Polar Peak, Frosty Flights area, and it's also going to be within Pleasant Park as well. So the eastern part of the map, they're going to have to worry about moving on over to the safe zone. Now we're going to be looking at a crowd favorite here. We got Tfue.
Yeah,
He's had the best run so far.
He's been playing the blocks. He's been getting out of the block successfully. It's actually Clipnode who's been landing here from the Brazilian region. Again, known for landing on a weapon and pushing straight into whoever's at the block. But Tfue has successfully defended himself. Even in the warm-up games, T was winning all of the early game engagements. And, you know, shout out to Clip. He actually changed his strategy.
Clip went for a shot there.
Yeah, but Clipnode stopped pushing, though. He's not using the same strategy. He's actually adopted so far. But let's see what Tfue can do in these moments. He's chucking some perfect grenades across.
Yeah, in game 1, Clipnode ended up getting everything that he needed and then disengaged out of the block, whereas Tfue took a little bit more time to loot up, get as much as he possibly can. Clipnode from the Brazilian region here, who it's a possibility that he can take him out, but it's going to be very challenging.
And maybe it was just the difference in loadout. Maybe before he didn't have exactly what he needed. Now we can kind of peek into his loadout here. This is a very strong loadout. He's got everything he needs to stick around and take this battle. And that's why you see him playing with such confidence now. And this could just be his game.
And it was also admirable of him as well. You know, qualified week 9, last chance to do so. Argentinian player as well. Then you got Takamura now. Sees a player right in front of him. Happy Hamlet is where this fight's going to be taking place. As Clarity G, he made it to the end game in game 2. Had high ground there for a moment. Thought he could have pulled that one off. Mr. Savage has eyes on Clarity G, does put the pressure on him. Now Clarity's going to have to deal with a player that's behind and in front of him. So just shadow bombs on out of there. He's going to have another one to use as well in case he needs to pop it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be paying any attention to him for right now.
There's over 6 players landing at Happy Hamlet, but we're jumping right into this battle right here. Unknown Army, who has had the time to prove to the world that he is here to bring the heat. Early on in our competitive days, Unknown Army was known. Take over, Golden.
This is it, man. Unknown Army, one of our first controller players. Actually, he was our first controller player to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Perhaps this is going to be the opportunity that he was looking for, Monster. Put himself on this stage. Get a big opportunity. Things have slowed down here for a moment. He's looking to overtake that roof. If he can get it, if he can get possession of that, edit on out. That's Commandment. Commandment's going to be sitting at the top 5, if I'm correct currently. A good fight here between 2 quality players.
It's not a battle he wants to lose. There's lots to prove here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday. That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not, though.
He's charging right in, and Commandment's going to have to get out of there. Didn't want to deal with that player. He knew the Unknown Army just had that beat on him. Wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead.
He's just taking all of these platforms, too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first. So clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know, we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's gonna do it. Commandment was in 3rd place, and Unknown Army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
And a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster, who's looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller. His main priority right now is metal and more loot.
Let's take a look here. We got Martine He's got eyes on a target. Also using his Sky Stalker skin, one of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun, close range, but no! It was Low Boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me look out for Low Boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another though. So Boom, not in this one. Maybe you can find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic Tilted Towers for that close-range PvP. He's going to get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are going to be great for maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is a controller battle, actually.
We'll see who can best one another here. Leshy's probably looking to take this wall. All right, he's gonna break into the building now, get that high ground over his opponent. Astonis is just waiting, not making a sound here, seeing if he can bait Leshy into a trap play. Let's see. He's gonna fall for it. Will he make a mistake? And that's really what it is, right, Golden?
Yeah, it is. When players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, everyone cheering, there's obviously going to be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, right? The sheer presence of where we are. Some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look up at all. I think I'm just going to focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before, they're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, use wrestling again, worked out well that time.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There's nowhere Astonis can run. He goes into it.
Oh,
lands the 2-shot. And that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legendian. He's going to be in a fight right now. Moves around the side, loses the high ground. Oh, man. That is rough. Legendian not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizza's placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Legendian just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Lechy who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous, but gets an elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshy, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshy, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshy, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L-trigger. You're going to have, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, L-trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right, you got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, just the age difference. Leshy's 15, could just be a little faster than Kinstar here.
Yeah, I know. When I was 15, I was nowhere near as good as he was with a controller. So, and I competed for a very long time. Got through. Was just in this fight here for the moment. Does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him, and he hears that movement all around. You also get an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see the mini map where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis to be able to top himself back up.
This is very intense here, Golden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shockwave. Yeah, you don't want to go for that fight. Shockwaves are so important. Players saving them for that late game. And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here. But Crew, oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirking grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. Left Eye was responsible, again, for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? So he's coming up, he's getting his little peek on right here.
Yeah, I think Ninja yesterday had talked about the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you will be deadly out there in the field. But she has done a lot of times, Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much, and I would understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. When you have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades.
And you know, you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite. And he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
Yeah, in competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe, you just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. Courage did say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said. You know?
All right, but here we have
Tfue.
Tfue playing his classic high ground center map, more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep, movement options for him, which in the last game he had the shadow bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was quenched in his thirst. But then Tfue, now this is, sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tfue. Unfortunately, right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's
not
so
placed
difficult.
down, unfortunately.
That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing in Fortnite here, but that's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect in these games, so you have to be hyperactive. You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely going to have to finish that battle. Here we have Robabs. He's kind of looking up. He's holding that edit, though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's going to trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot.
He's
now they're both, they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's going to go first now?
New circle, now active.
This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's going to have to try again in the next game. It's Robabs. Does manage to get the better. Oh man, this is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive. Staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right, and now we have Leshy back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting 2nd place here in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. Here's Leshy though, applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself. understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields, but he'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he showed his self to that angle right there and everyone just collapsed on him, that is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. There's Leshy. If he can figure out that that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him, could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got pieces as well. Down low on the flooring. There's Clash. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider with the HP that he has currently. Ugh. Might want to take advantage of Shadow Bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Or actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in live. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on two ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting there is gonna realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot, unfortunately could not connect. It looks like Clarity's gonna pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game.
Yep.
Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. Circle's gonna be closing down now. We're gonna find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations, the movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the baller pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it, but it did bring him to a 2nd place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that,
You tried to catch him right there, you saw that? Wild. You wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Grabbed him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
It's actually pretty interesting as well because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a Siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm starting to push. Look at Lecce still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that Shadow Bomb. Now we're going to game 1 winner, Booga. He's dealt 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lecce, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
And it is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here.
Man.
Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugga at the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion.
Yeah.
All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground. We haven't seen much of Andretta so far. But you gotta be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low. so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugha and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugha, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
That was on Hoodjay too, a big player there and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugha does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugha, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugha. Again, with 11 players remaining, we're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Look at last we saw. He does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's gonna get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skyte's in this one as well. Maybe he's gonna get a back-to-back win. Riverson, he's got the high ground, he's got the explodes, he sees players, he has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes, 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there, and Riverson has to reset, needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's gonna be above him!
He's too good!
An elimination onto Skyte. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it gonna be down low? It's Dubs! It's Dubs down low! And Riversand has Dubs on his site. Who's gonna get the win here? Riversand navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversand, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him, you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here on the main stage.
Prove to the world that you're the greatest to ever do it. But you gotta give credit to Riversand. Second place finish for him there. Had the high ground, had the explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riversand. And look at this unfold right here. Riversand had the Rockets looking right at Dubs, and Dubs just needed to play defense. Riversand had no more builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. And what a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So second place in game 2. Game 3 gets first place. He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit. And he's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skyte, he managed to make it to the end game, as well as Bugha. So, our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their victories.
Game 1 was Bugha, game 2 was Skyte, and game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking second, and Bugha, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too, as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running, but that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Fwexy, and Issa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win.
A massive, massive victory Royale for Dubs here, a definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long, obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the rockets are coming down on you hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You trying to get high ground? What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and try to hold out in the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I do say so myself. What are you thinking? What strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos. But there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lupo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this sign earlier today. The Dr. Lupo is not old.
He's not old.
Hey, dad fam out there.
He's just a little elderly. That's all it is. As am I. So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering what comes next. Well, as we said before, competitive Fortnite isn't going anywhere. Once Season 9 wraps up and we move into our next season, we'll be debuting the Fortnite Championship Series. This will give players a chance to compete against the best of the best, where every single result matters, with a leaderboard to track results over the course of the season. Follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season champions with millions of dollars at stake. Now, this is just a taste of what's to come, as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So keep your eyes peeled for more news as you root on your favorite competitors in the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that?
Oh, this is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup Finals here in New York City, and just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far, did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Booga, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing the baller play. There's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite, Monster.
Yeah, you saw Dubs, game 1, tried to get a little bit more aggressive, opting in to take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time for this event right here, he queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again, and then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocks the world. That, my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle shuttle bus is getting loaded, and look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmello concert earlier today? Incredible stuff, that live performance from him. You love to see it, but this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugga, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back.
That's right.
4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king eye, a keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him too, because
sure, why not? You
a king
that.
out there.
He really is, man. I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tfue, you got to live up to it.
That's
you
right.
You got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugga still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only, and this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms, some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner, in great fashion. You can see he's playing the crack shot house here, where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect that, another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legendian as well. They're going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Here's a nice little fun fact. 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs' placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with his duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkram. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head.
Feels bad, man.
Oh, and
when
then,
friends collide, ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nix, a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10 each and every week that he played. Everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. We'll have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
Listen, Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them.
He's hearing all that movement up above him. Niddle does have the high ground for the time being. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away after he does a little motion to the camera. Yeah, Nick, I love you, buddy.
You know, no instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
Taking a look at Moffin. One of our few players representing the Asian region here.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sinnoh and O-King yesterday, but Letwike and Twins, they've really been going at it here and in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's gonna take it all. 7 builds for Letwike currently. HP, little dire. Twins also gonna be in a rough spot too, and then won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's gonna give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwike is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's gonna be gone out of that one monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking, and that's Let, who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way, he was committed, and he was, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna represent for himself and his fans?
It's a battle, cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against Teak. Another shot, actually. Issa getting third-partied, and sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire, so they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it, and it's Mega! Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the hat through? Moffin goes in for the fight, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just unfortunately in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate through here and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from
That was Teak. That was
King
the
taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his pass earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discords for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Everyone has their opinion and strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's, favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good, that's good. Obviously, it's, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay, though, from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's the third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Pika ordered a quick 2-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. There's a huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. But the fight continues against Dracons.
It's an artillery strike right here, and Dracons is going to have to back up here. As Hood J is going to get a moment of peace because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much. Dracons trying to axe his way through the middle, and he's a ton of loot right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly, but no, he's more focused on this battle right now.
And
sets up a cone as well.
And Dracons, from the Brazilian region, so there's just aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. They don't care what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes a defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining. As well as some bandages.
Allow him to bounce back. He's got all the mats now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, he's got everything to work with. Sometimes you gotta go and just farm up, pick up as much as you can, or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. Play the safe game. There's no reason that you gotta get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do, but in this instance, hey, you're playing for the long game.
Yeah, and I talked with Macwood and Calculator in the Players Lounge for a while, and I asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengage? And he says, depends, If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up.
There's no reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. Has his player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment, pop a mini.
That was a best-case scenario for him because he still has a full whites here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there.
two quality players right now, scrambling against one another. Pika gets rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this, perhaps. And it's right in front. Oh, man. Played around the corner there. And then Pika, he just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head.
This is an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duos competition yesterday. And of the two, he's the one who just goes in. He's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now. And he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're going to get ticked for one in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
He doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's going to chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's going to open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to tick for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
And I just got to say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. He lost sight of him, and he let his guard down, and he got punished for it.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew with the burst SMG. The weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we had mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick, but each elimination is gonna give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watched the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight in arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. He gets out.
And look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not gonna use this side. I'm gonna go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
Master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened, and he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. This King is tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. And if I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go
hope
big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King of fight over on the mountain there. Tuzi's next to him, as well as Keenstar. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target here.
He just doesn't stop. Into another box fight he goes. And now he's going to reposition here and set up for the prime push.
This is ridiculous.
Look, he's still going.
He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. It's his box now! Oh, what a beast! What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's going to go down.
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe in the
He had a
next
target
zone.
and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs. Also has a baller, so they're probably not going to get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies.
is still a thing. Maybe they'll be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's going to be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Because realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone like pretty much with, without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zayt we were discussing. He's really good at not putting himself in a position, but still to get hurt, but still take shots. And Benji Fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that. He put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
And now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few ticks. Damage perhaps. And King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations. 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. It's far away, though, from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at Zone 5. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably gonna want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. And take a look here. Tfue, nice little replay right there. One of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Kurtz. Tfue on the board. But King, what are the chances of that one? Yeah, the good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here. Can Tfue make a big comeback for himself here?
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. And Tfue did have the mark on him. That guy, though, you hate that one. When you just get focused on so much. You're out and about, trying your best to stay up in this game. And then everyone looks at you, and Tfue again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
Yes, Prisionero was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Players do build around 2-box metal, perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your Game 3 winner, Dubs. 2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrel, unfortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Flexi, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right. He was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tifu's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tifu gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're gonna jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Magru, because Magru catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura, tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. What's he going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Magru's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire, top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongrel gets up to the high ground. Maybe using this, if you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him, knocks the structure down, and the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game, but Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5, and that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moments. Top 5 Monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the maps that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's a trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Huge elimination on Takamura. We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongrel in the ultimate low ground, going up against a player. It's got to be Bugga. The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongrel, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Som, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Som claims a victory, but it's Mongrel who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running roughshod in the ultimate low ground, but it's Som, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Som gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2, he got 2nd place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's feeling good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. Oh, that was a wild, wild game. Here are the standings, though. Booga still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently. But Psalm now jumps in to second place. Nate in third. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in fourth. Rux as well. Epic Whale in sixth. Skite and Dubs get knocked down to 7th and 8th. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in 9th. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
Doing so good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. Wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner, Psalm.
And a huge Game 4 win for Psalm. Now sitting at second place in the standings, feeling really, really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure no one impulses up to take my high ground, and then I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And then the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Psalm, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe was in second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Ball is standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining, and it looks like Psalm and Booga repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard, but for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that pushed him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkham. We've talked about Arkham a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkham and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures. And that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground at this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb. But for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Bala. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it be solos or even in duos, along with his teammate Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today and be like, honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Monster D-Face the Boricua boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few.
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace_. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all of the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, you know, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about 2,000 amps of power, which is about enough to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, introduce me to all of these working parts. But there are so many more things that go into all of this. So when you guys are out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet.
안녕하세요. 저는 이제 팩스폭스라고 하고요. 저는 아시아 서버에서 이제 뉴욕 진출했고요. 이제 나이는 17살입니다. 저는 이제 위크 1에서 이제 처음에 솔로 4연승을 해가지고 초반에 이 점수를 거의 다 따가지고 그냥 후반에 맘 놓고 하고.
4 victory royales, and he averaged 8 elims. Obviously, first place. That's unbelievable.
이제 아시아는 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에 저는 연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 될 것 같습니다.
I, New York City.
Oh, okay, Faxlox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 진짜 응원하겠습니다.
Hey Fortnite fam, BallTW here to get in the nitty-gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with a floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling. One of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these congested endgames, it gets complicated. That means you need to practice, and make sure to hop in creative mode and do just that. You can practice it in the open on your own island, or use one of the many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was BallTW, and we'll see you in game.
My name is Turner, aka Tifu. I qualified from the North American East region.
This is not.
Wait. Trying to sneak him in. Can you get him to drop it?
Oh my! What is that angle?
He hits all of the shots.
The day I qualified, I was pretty hyped. I didn't even believe it was real at the time. I don't know. I was just kind of streaming, grinding, doing my own thing, and I tried my hardest and succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops him. 100. Follow through on the shot.
Literally reading my mind.
He's a special player, a generational talent. He has qualities that not a lot of young players have. So mature, so dedicated, very rare to see.
힘들어. 안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 김도환이고 플레이어 닉네임은 푸드제이입니다. 나이는 그리고 14살입니다.
He's disciplined.
J drops down.
He's focused.
That was an ambitious play.
He wants to push it.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best. 여기 간 다음에 제일 중요한 거는 이걸 타고 여기부터 먹어. 요 지금 이쪽에 그 상자. I'm Juno. 이거부터 먹고. I'm the coach for T1's Fortnite division. 페이탈은 여기 안 밀어. 여기는 거의 완전. I first met Jay when he was a free agent. 제일 베스트가 아이스크림 먹고 아이스크림 안 He's the youngest player in our team.
저는 포트나이트 선수로서 일산에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 구단에서 생활하고 있습니다.
야, 웃으면서 해.
덩어리가 가장 많고 저희 팀원은 가족 같고 가족보다 뭔가 좀 더 끈끈하고 좀 더 위인 그런 팀인 것 같습니다.
The team really looks at Hood J as the little brother that everybody wants to take care of.
저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에 대해서
His tempo is quite a bit faster than a lot of the other players.
Hood J runs on forward.
아무래도 건설이라든지 편집이라든지 그런 부분이 좀 재미있어서이기도 하고 제 목표를 달성할 수 있기 때문입니다. 저는 포트나이트 게임을 시작할 때 이기자라는 목적으로 많이 시작합니다.
Tags him and brings him down to the victory royale.
He wants to always be creative, always change up his playstyle and steal the tempo from his opponents.
여보세요, 엄마. 잘 지내시죠? 요즘 어떻게 지내세요? 네, 걱정 안 하셔도 돼요. 제가 끝나면은 진짜 자랑스럽게 해드릴게요. 꼭 몸 관리 잘하시고 월드컵 끝나면 바로 갈게요, 집으로. 네. 세계 최고 플레이어가 되고 싶은 이유는 아무래도 부모님인 것 같습니다. 가끔씩 부모님이라는 생각이 가끔씩 들어서 그게 동기부여가 되지 않나 싶습니다.
Hood J hasn't realized how talented he is just yet.
I am just so impressed with what I'm seeing here from Hood J.
He has that potential to become the greatest of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Millions watching across the world. On the biggest stage. Every single player out here, an absolute gamer, Jack. We've never seen anything like this. Best shadow bomb use I've ever seen, Mr. Savage M. I don't miss my shot. I don't miss my shots. He's the player there. Run down the storm. Jump. Finds him. Yeah!
Qualifying for the World Cup was a major step for me to actually help out my family.
I'm so happy we made it. This is literally like a dream.
I was freaking out. It was awesome.
Ooh, someone messaged me. He said, hey, congrats on qualifying.
Here it is! He's in the PX! Oh! That is why he's a World Cup qualifier! This is it right here, the 1v1! Who is the other one? Can he hit it? Oh my gosh! This is freaking legend! Are you kidding me? What a win! Victory Royale! GG!
Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to Mike Realm spinning over there, guys. Give it up for him. And now we are one step closer to crowning our first Fortnite World Champions in solos. History is about to be made here, folks. And now I want to ask everyone here in the arena, are you ready? Let's do it one more time. I'm going to ask you again. Are you for the last 2 games, Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Over a year ago, the Fortnite World Cup was announced, and here today it culminates in the final 2 games of the solos competition. $30 million in prize money this weekend, and in 2 games, Dr. Lupo, we will crown another Fortnite World Champion.
We've seen a ridiculous number of plays from everybody on the field. Even moments like King going out, literally the first eliminated 1 game immediately after, just slaying out in the lobby. We love to see gameplay like that. Very aggressive from a number of players that honestly a lot of us didn't even expect to show up on the board. You have to remember though, every single player that has qualified for the solo finals here at the Fortnite World Cup in New York City is at the top of their game. 40 million people played through. This is what's left, the best of the best of the best.
We know the storylines continue throughout this lobby of the 100 best players in the world. We have 2 games left. Our standings, well, they're very close, and Sundown's going to update us on where they lock up.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage, with only 2 matches left to decide who is the world champion solo player, who is the best of the best of the best. We're gonna take a look at what the standings currently look like and what needs to happen. So the first thing you're gonna see right away is the runaway train Bugha up top. 1 victory royale, leading the pack with 15 eliminations at 37 points, 8 points clear. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday and a lot during the qualifiers. What is a reasonable game to expect? We've seen a lot of the victory royales today actually coming from more passive players. They've been getting around 11 to 12 points apiece. We've been seeing high volume eliminations happening in the early and the mid game. But right now, looking at this board, Peter Pan sitting in 10th place right now is just off of the mark. He's 16 or 18 points off. With a reasonable game, he could challenge towards that. Let's take a look at the second page, because then from 10th to 20th, it is a 4-point difference. Mongrel, with a fantastic performance in the last game, pushes himself into contention, and this top 20 is the line where you will see an increase in that prize bonus. You want to be at minimum on this page when all is said and done. 2 matches are left. We have already seen world champions crowned in creative and duo. Who will be the ultimate victory royale and who will take home the title? We're gonna throw it back inside and see the final 2 matches. Lupo, Courage, let's take it home.
Thank you, Sundown. The standings so close, all for the coveted trophy that you see on your screen, the title of Fortnite World Champion. 15 million just for this solos competition, 3 million for first. With 2 more games left, who do you think comes out on top?
I would love to see the 13-year-old from the South America, King, show up big. I mean, he's put on a fantastic show thus far. You have to remember, just 1 slip up, 1 bad game, that's not enough to take you out of the lead. He very easily, a solid high elim game, a top placement, doesn't even have to be a victory royale at this point. With how well he's played, he could make his way to the top with ease.
Can anyone catch Bugha at the top of our leaderboards? The lobby is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle bus launches in 2, 1. Game 5 underway of the Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition. Can they catch Bugha? His lead remains from the incredible shockwave plays earlier. All 100 players in the biggest day of their entire lives fighting for their big share of the, well, $3 million first place spot, 15 million in total.
From last game, saw him a last-minute clutch there. Took home a victory royale. We're going to watch his drop in here as well as everybody else near the top of this board. As we go into these later matches, folks, keep in mind we're going to try and keep an eye on those that are closest to contention for that world champion position. Very, very important to know that. Go to the board there, you see 4 of the 5 llamas in the very south edge of the map, starting at Salty, all the way down to the east of Happy Hamlet. 1 more all the way to the top middle. Those getting picked up early are very, very important. A baller for Psalm already at the beginning of the game. It's like he may have been the only one to drop up here. And are you kidding me? A Jug, a proxy grenade launcher.
I was like, sure. He's only averaging 1 limb per match, you see, but he's in second place. So the value's so key for placement. Has placed in the top 18 of every match. So we played 4 games. That means he's gotten placement points in every single match so far, Dr. Lupo. It's a big reason why he finds himself in second place. To be that consistent in this lobby, absolutely insane.
Gotta break 25 to get those points.
Arkram, Rux, fighting out in Westworld, as people do call it, this desert town. Arkram has had a couple games where he's just basically got fried right off the start. Can he turn it around right now? He was top 15 earlier. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Rux, who's gotten the better of him a few of these previous games, having to back on it for a moment as that airstrike did come down.
Don't count him out just yet, though. This drop, honestly, one of the loot heaviest in the game. You have a lot of materials as well. A player like this, he gets in a good position, maybe even takes out Rux, doesn't have to fight anybody else down here. He can climb his way out of here with ease.
9 grenades in Rux's inventory. If he can somehow bait Arkram into a bad spot and use those to his advantage, it could be the thing that swings the tide in this battle. Hasn't thrown the Chug Splashes. I was going to say, wondering when he was going to begin to throw them, but there they are. Chug Splash is down. 0 limbs still, as you'd expect, as he's still looking around for where Arkram could be.
Maybe the hope to save those. We didn't have to necessarily use them just yet. Big anticipation of combat before you know it, or at least the chance of it. I'm gonna throw those down real quick. 40 HP shield. These two just kind of at a stalemate at the edge of the map, waiting to see if there's an opportunity to make a play. They are outside of the safe zone quite a bit. So at some point, the zip lines or even the quad that spawns here might be the key to getting all the way into the safe zone soon. Grenades going out, but beamed. Rux takes quite a bit of damage from Arkram, and aggression begins. The build up, and he's going to try and take the high ground. Shots from Rux, no contact just yet. He's going to have to do some damage before you know it. Only 96 HP is not going to necessarily be enough against a player with accuracy like Arkram's.
But he does have the combat shotgun, which is the ultimate tool this early in the game. Rux still at 96 health, has those grenades in his back pocket. Hasn't thrown any more yet. 15 builds still remaining. A very intense fight for these two. The shot comes through. Down to just 41 HP. Rux versus Arkram. Who can come out on top? Rux still with high ground. Arkram down below. Will he begin to throw these grenades? It doesn't appear so. Only 6 builds left. And remember, with only 2 games remaining in the competition today, this could spell disaster for their final performance. Arkram popping 1 shield. Definitely has a major health advantage, but still, height can make all the difference as he has the combat shotgun, but looks like for now, he's just back on up.
I was anticipating if Rux had made a tag, if he gotten damage on Arkram down at the bottom of that building, I would have expected a push, 100%. A chance to pick up the 50 HP or shield because of Siphon. No damage dealt there, so Rux decides to opt his way out. King, one of our high elim players, 35 HP, gonna try and get that med kit off, but he can't quite. Time to fight it out. A little bit of a build battle and see who can take ownership of the walls. King building up and layering yet again.
Oh my goodness.
The shockwave. He's actually going for it. Are you kidding me? Lutenezi goes down and King back up to 85 HP. What a play.
On the World Cup stage.
Yeah, the kid.
He just shockwaved to the sky and tried to hip fire hand cannon his opponent.
With 35 HP.
Are you kidding me? With 35 health? Talk about confidence. It's such an insane play that it catches the opponent off guard. Stompy trying to push on in. I believe this is Dubs on the other side of the wall. Stompy gets the wall, gets the elim. Down goes Dubs. And also in the elimination feed, Aqua, our Fortnite world champion from yesterday, has eliminated Tfue.
Match 5 out of 6, 1 left. Those players, the 16 that have already been eliminated, they still have 1 game remaining. But our current leader on the standings, Bugha, down in Lucky Landing, gonna make a rotation away. Avoid any damage. At this point, gonna be the most important thing is getting ahead of the game here as the storm is pressing on in. He's only against 1 other player down here in Lucky. So the opt to rotate out to the west towards the river, probably the best one in this situation. Doesn't want to get challenged. He's got a free rotation up now. Slip is right there. Without realizing it too, he is relatively close to 2 llamas in the south edge of the map.
Wonderful spot, either of them, one on his left, one on his right. I doubt he will since he's going through the low ground, but Bugha, so far, man, 3 out of the 4 games has been fantastic performances. He had one where he dropped off early. Remember, he, was eliminated within the first 10 players in the game, but still keeping his lead because of how well he's performed in the other 3 games up to this point. Teak did show some aggression there for a moment, but decides, nope, I'm going to fall on back. Don't want to take this 1v1 out in the open. Would rather go continue to loot on up, earn more materials because, hey, 45 builds, you think, that's a lot, but not in any case in a competitive lobby like this. And, well, since he fell back, he's able to get himself a combat shotgun.
Feel good about that. Clicks in the feed, picking up an elimination on Nate. Down to 81 players remaining as this first circle starts to close. 52 seconds left before that happens.
And this first zone, very central on the map. No super drastic rotations need to come on through. Here's a replay from earlier on of how Aqua challenged and eliminated Tfue. Tfue goes for the slurp, Aqua gets the floor, and Tfue stands no chance, can't even fire a shot. And there's the frustration from Tfue, as he knows he has not had the day he's wanted. One of the biggest names in competitive Fortnite, one of the winningest players of all time, getting shut down here at the Fortnite World Cup Solo Final.
I would say it's definitely a different playing field than a lot of these players are used to, no matter where they hail from. It's the first time that we've had multiple regions from the entire world all play within the same lobby, the same setups. It's all on land here, so it's just a different scenario for everybody. Especially on top of that, if you have younger players that have never had lane experience, nerves can potentially play into it. But she pushing in the box, gets inside, and the elimination. Robams goes down here in Neo tilted.
And I like that a lot from Lechi, right? Because he's got 200 HP. He's already done a lot of damage to his opponent. He also does 23 more white damage, HP damage to realize, wait, I have a major health advantage as Bugha begins to dance on the main stage. But he pushes on in, forces the play, and says, you know what, if you have a trap, I'm still going to survive through it. You're so little HP that I know I'll eliminate you, even if I take 150 damage to the trap. Bugha, I mean, I guess this is kind of the mindset he has right now. I'm in first. I've got shadow bombs, I've got a launch pad, I've got everything I need. Banny, if you want to play this game, bro, you can play this game. But Bugha dances, and his opponent says, no, thank you. No dance battle for me today. I'll back on up.
It's enough to pressure him to rotate.
Imagine
away.
Dancing and scaring away your opponent. That's when you know you're good at the game.
Whenever you dance, you scare me away too, Jack. Don't worry. 73 players remaining as Cease picks up an elimination. A reminder on the right side of your screen, the format for the day. Match 5 of 6. We have 10 points for a victory royale. You make it to top 5, it's only 7. You make it to top 15, that's 5. Top 25 is 3, and every elimination on the board is an additional point.
And also keep in mind,
ooh, a big 46. The white damage, a good signal for Bugha that that player most likely won't challenge unless that's the only thing they have left. No pressure there. He's an opportunity to just rotate away cleanly.
Another thing to keep in mind, you see right there, 40% extra materials when farming. You also have a max count of 500 of each material type. So you cannot carry 1,000 wood or 999 wood, 999 brick, 999 metal. No, it's 500 of each material type. Players building inside this new structure, the corpse of the monster that our glorious mech defeated to save the Fortnite island.
Hashtag team mech. Ooh, a solid hit there. Scalar gonna pressure from above, knowing that that ramp was closing it off for just a second. Gonna try and take the wall to edit from above.
Surprised he's not throwing a stink.
Doesn't own it just yet. Very good question. At some point, that's gonna have to come out. Maybe pressure the player off of that campfire. Still can't get it. There it is. Still can't get it. These stalemates for taking walls, one of the highest pressure situations because you're on the verge of a box fight in which your opponent, you know they're going to push in. They have a trap that might take a wall and place it. Go for the shotgun shot, 160. The blue pump, very, very powerful.
Yeah, that's a 160 to the jaw right there. That's what people missed about the pump shotgun when it was vaulted. As we all know, recently was brought back into play, and for reasons like that, so good in the up-close fights. It's, for a lot of people, the one spot where it just completely outclasses all other shotguns. Obviously, 4 shotguns in play right now in competitive Fortnite. Storm Surge did pop up, but it went away almost instantly as this lobby has dropped a little bit quicker as things have gone on. People maybe getting more desperate, challenging more early game fights to see if they can get an advantage. Sam, who won our 4th game using one of these big shields, and look at the inventory right now. Big shields, chug splashes, and I like that a lot. Sam at first decides, you know what, let me use this big shield. I'll get the full 50 health out of it. But because his opponent interrupts it, realizes, well, what's the lesser of two evils? That is popping 2 chug splashes, giving myself as much health as possible, and not playing greedy. I like that from Sam, a sign of a veteran player. You got to take what you can get, and that's a perfect example of it right there.
At this point, he's waiting to see if there's an opportunity to sneak a shot through on the surface inside that ramp. He doesn't own it. Every time he does a little bit of damage, he has an opportunity to replace it, and he does, in fact, take it. Push on through, get the wall, goes for the edit, but a big shot from the other side, down to 71. Those chug splashes coming in big. He might have to wait, though, that last one. Don't know if he'll have time to use it. Pressure from the player inside. Rotating down, immediately popping a hole out and getting in his baller. Opts to not take that fight, and probably a very good call, seeing as how he took a ton of damage on the inside before he had a chance to move away. 110 total now. The baller's full HP, though.
Here's Riverson. That legendary bolt sniper rifle. 175 total health to take a bit of damage right there. Often set up on the left side of your screen in a metal box. Really, no one can be challenging that. Fully built metal. It's just something that when you see it in competitive Fortnite with how little ammo you have, you're basically like, all right, I'm not bothering you. You're set up. I'm not bothering you. Just don't peek out and shoot at me, because it's almost impenetrable, it feels like, with how little time you have to shoot and how little ammo you wind up having in these games. A replay from earlier on. This is Smeeth in another one of these close box fights. Gets that ramp. Tries to challenge forward. Basically edited into the opponent's box. That's Hood J. And will get the combat shotgun. So a major upgrade from a common tactical shotgun up to a combat shotty. And I'm sure everyone that plays Fortnite knows just how good that is. But back over to Riverson, who's, well, rolling on through the river.
I just have to say, I'm a little surprised that he opted to take the bolt over the Shadow Bomb. Looking at late game Fortnite, especially in competitive, oftentimes you see stacks of players on top of each other and no opportunity for a snipe. The Shadow Bomb is going to be a mobility he's not going to have. The baller's gone now.
Yeah.
Sitting inside this box. I don't know why he didn't take the Shadow Jab.
To be honest, I think Riverson viewed that as, all right, I have this baller. I'm going to play around the baller being my, well, Shadow Bombs for this game. And that's not the case. That was what just happened was the worst thing that could have ever occurred for Riverson. His baller's gone. He's got no movement items left, and now he's stuck on this mountain in a box fight.
Just quick note, Epic Whale is currently in 6th position. Riverson in 4th, so this is a battle at the top of the leaderboard, stuck inside a box, up back and forth. And Epic cannot quite find the target. Riverson picking up a big leaderboard elimination right there.
That is a moment where I think nerves gets you a little
100%.
bit. You mentioned top 6. He's thinking in the back of his head, if I have a good game here, we're moving into the $1 million prize pots. And instead, Riverson wins a fight that looked impossible to win and is now set up on top of a mountain with near max HP.
Real quick look back here, Plug, our current leader. Look at the shots through there. Little shakes the hands off a little bit, blow off some steam as an arrow goes down inside. Very, very accurate player, Booga. See Bizzle, the top left of your screen, one of the more well-known players, like you said, one of the most consistent players, Jack, in all of Fortnite that we've ever seen. With the speed of the builds up here, so we're gonna try and get a little bit of a higher view. Doesn't want to be stuck down too low in case there's players rotating. Maybe some shots on the baller soon. There's pressure being applied on others and ops into that fight as well.
And if you look at where Buka is right now, on your minimap, the closest player on the west side of that zone, safe, and everyone has to move right towards him. Also, 6 minis, near max builds, 4 shadow bombs, 2 launch pads, a shockwave. Booga knows what a fantastic position he's in. If he can make it to late game, he basically has guaranteed placement points.
Peter Pan making his way through here. A little bit of a leftover collection. Gonna have to do some picking up on the inside. Pretty lucky finds on the inside here. Quite a few materials. Flint knock. He's got to redeploy a ton of minis. Pretty optimal loadout for both mid-range, up close, depending on who's pushing him.
Yep.
Positional wise, no launch pads.
What a slipstream.
No shadow bombs. Does have a slip, but as soon as he's away from that thing, flying, he can establish a base, but making a move after that's going to be tough. And he is getting attacked from literally every angle on the way in. Players from all sides taking shots. He's going to have to try and push his way through for an elimination, or get out of this area almost immediately. What a tough spot to be in. Shots from both sides. Puts the trap down in anticipation of somebody pushing in, and literally cannot keep the walls up enough.
And that's the downside of being one of the last players to rotate from outside the zone. Everyone who's set up, including Bugha, knows, hey, we just spray anyone. They've got to come this way. They're going to be floating right at us. If the whole lobby shoots at them, one of us is bound to get them. We're all going to get damage tags. And when the Storm Surge just popped up, everyone fiending for a little bit of damage to keep them above that threshold. Thankfully for the players in the lobby, only 2 more people need to drop before Storm Surge goes away. So don't think it'll come into play too much.
All I can imagine a situation like that right now is from the Pro-Am, Tim the Tatman getting shot at from multiple sides. And,
yep.
It's just...
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny when...
You were one of them, I think.
Yeah, no, my teammate Sean eliminated him. Tim, we beat Tim the Tatman on land and outplaced him as we take a look at players stacked up all on the west side of the zone. What people at home don't know is that we were literally looking at Tim as we say that, which is makes it better. So, launch pad used by Bugha right away, and with 2 launch pads with all this other movement, he just needs to survive this movement. And guess what? This is a zone on the high ground. It's directly on this mountain, so from pretty early on zone, it's going to get awkward right away. Bugha has made it in, but has taken a lot of damage. Will use some minis to get back up to 150. Has made it to the zone. Benji Fishy just below, who's currently top 13 in this game.
Player to G still has a little bit of a high ground advantage. Just going to look back at Bugha, who's trying to build his way up. See if he can spot anybody on the move. This position still very, very good. The edge of the next safe zone. 2 seconds until that pressure starts to apply, and a lot of players you see on the minimap have already started to rotate in. They're making their moves now, but shots from Bugha and many others as these players are flying in. Community launch pads, some shadow bombs used in situations like this, and no shield on that player. Bugha right now has a total of 16 elims today. King is in second with 15.
This is all it is. You just get set up in the zone, fire people who have to move from the storm. It's the common enemy. Every player in the lobby. Issa did just go down to class, and we also saw Vivid drop a couple moments ago. So nothing really from Vivid this game, unfortunately. Bugha 1 elim so far. Continue to look on down. Here's the perspective of a drop coming on in. Everyone's made it up on the mountain right now. Still some people on the edge. You see the likes of Cease still alive. Clicks, Zate, Creo, Cosmic, Skype, who earlier on took home a game of his own in game 2.
Quick note, by the way, Riversun, who we saw eliminate the 6th place position, has gone down himself in 4th. So he is out of this game. 44 players reversing your feet, going down to Dementos. And we are not even at placement position just yet. And we're looking at the 6th to 7th circle transition starting in 10 seconds. Everyone has to move. The people that have the best opportunity to take shots back, they're going to be able to pick up a lot of eliminations. Players are going to be on rotation. Things are about to get real tough for a lot of people.
The edit, so they just wait, hop the ball and roll. Now, I don't think you can hold high ground from this early on. I mean, yes, high ground will be very good, but this is going to be a long rotation if you're going to wind up making that happen. Blacks is up top for the moment. Bugha, you see him soaring on over with the shockwave grenade. Setting up, always getting ahead of the zone as far as possible. Pika there as well.
Back behind him, going to take even more shots at players on rotation. Very smart plays. The shadow bomb, and he still has 3 more, so this rotation better be a good one. Got a chance to get ahead of a lot of people here.
I really do love this. He knows how close he is to placement points, and he's got such a lead right now that unless someone has a monster performance, if he just gets placement points, makes it to the top 25 again, with just 2 games left, that could be really all he needs to secure this Fortnite World Championship. And he got the zone. The zone's going back his way, but Bugha goes to edit out, and there's a shotgun waiting for him. down to under 50 HP, frantically trying to pop these minis. The spray coming on through. Can our leader hang on to placement points? Storm Surge activated on some of the remaining players. Bugha peeks out again for a shot. Not gonna connect yet. 32 players left. Shadow Bomb being used. Can Bugha make it to the top 25? 3 more points can be the difference between making it as our #1 player today or second place. Bugha still bouncing up. 30 players left. Just so frantically looking around for potential victim.
You'll notice as soon as they're box to box, right next to another player, players like Bugha will opt to build straight up. One more, 26 remaining. If one more goes down, he's going to pick up placement points. Keep an eye on the feed just to see only one elimination remains. There it is, 25. So he's already into the placement points now. It's going to push him even higher on the leaderboard. Everybody left picks those points up too, but as we move, players starting to drop left and right. Sky still sitting on a baller, as well as Fatch. Pika with the ultimate high ground, and Bugha right in the middle, right in the thick of it, looking on the outside. That's a very smart play. In that moment, you have a baller flying up. You don't want those players to hold on to those. Taking the shots to break it out, maybe force an engagement.
With only 8 builds.
15 now.
Out of builds, no movement items, made it to top 15. For me, this is already a fantastic game for Bugha. You've got placement points. Another elimination. How about a second? Bugha, what are you doing? 2 elims come in. He's back up to near full HP, and he's in the top 10, and he's got all the materials he could ever need. Bugha, how are you making this happen? From no mats and no movement. One player nearby. Bugha at 3 elims, still ahead of this zone. He can absolutely win this game, Dr. Lupo. 2 away from more placement points.
Opts to drop the extra weapons in his inventory. A gold AR, the green pump, 6 minis, and a campfire. 42 builds remaining, and he's just looking. 5 players left. He is sitting in one of the best spots I think he could have possibly imagined. Creo picking up an elimination. He's sandwiched between Pika, Piza's, Creo on the ultimate low ground. He's looking any chance to pop through when a player is not looking to get a shot in might be enough.
Still has mats, 1 player below. Bugha just staying ahead of this. Has only taken 1 storm tick so far. Player up top fighting, player down low fighting. Can Bugha make the impossible happen? Dodges the trap as well. Taking a little bit of storm damage. Bugha's got to make it on in. 1 build left, drops on in Bugha. No! But either way,
it's all good.
He's done what he needs to do. He knows how important that game is. Now we're in our top 3. Pika up top. We were following him earlier on today. Pizzas and Creo all the way down low.
0 builds in Pika's inventory. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to drop in and go for a fight. Cannot connect. Pizzas finds that elimination. Creo gets the final one, and game 5 goes to Creo.
I don't think he can believe it. I don't know if anyone caught it at home, but what he does right there is Flint knocks the opponent, hits him for that body damage, and then shoots him into the zone. Great game for Creo right there, and you see repping his team. Ooh, clutching on up in the end. Here it is, the final moments. The zone closing away, a fully closed zone. Creo's got to build on up. You see, health advantage was to Pizzas. Pizzas would win that game, but a full damage Flint knock connects and swings the tide in his favor. Here it is one more time. Boom! Right to the chest, sends him into the zone, and wins the game. From Creo as he takes game 5, the victory royale, 10 points plus his eliminations.
Huge game there, and Jack, we still have one more.
We do. We still have one more game here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals. I don't see any way that Bugha's fallen out of first with that performance. He absolutely popped off. We're about to take a look at our standings, but Bugha may just be in a position where all he needs to do is find 1 or 2 points, and
there it is.
My
1 or 2, are you kidding me?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bugha sits atop his throne, far and away in first place. He is 1 game from $3 million. The most eliminations, tied for the most victory royales, by far the most points. Bugha has put on a show and is nearing the title of Fortnite World Champion.
Here's a look at the remainder of your top 20 there. 17 points. That's what you need to break into the top 20, Jack.
Yep.
But even then, you're still 30 points away from first place.
You need a 20-plus elim game with a victory royale and 0 from Bugha. Good luck, have fun, but we do have Jordan Fisher on the floor with one of our members of that last game.
Playing health right there at the very end in such a high caliber game. Again, another stacked lobby right here at the end. Yo, hoping for some lucky health ticks in your favor, and that happened. Thank God for the best reaction for the wins so far today, in my opinion. Where's your headspace at going into this last game?
Right now, I'm on third. I just need to clutch up, make sure that I don't make any dumb plays. I just keep calm and keep how I've been playing.
Well, it's great work. Fantastic job. Great victory royale. Back up to you guys.
Great to hear from Creo right there as he takes game number 5, the nerves in those final moments. You saw the celebration. I think he even almost couldn't believe how it all ended on up. But victory royale, you know the difference between 21st and 20th is over $60,000. And a win like that, with how close the standings are, could make the difference between earning $50,000, which is still great, but $112,000, which is to follow. But we're not quite ready for Game 6 yet. We do have Balla over on Unreal Island with some analysis of Game 5.
Guys, I do have that, and what a performance here from Bugha today. Every single game almost placing consistently in the points and finding himself some eliminations as well. Only falling in that second game early on. We're going to take a look at some of the eliminations that led him to a top 5 finish here. Bugha, first off, breaking the baller on the side of zone, making sure that he knows exactly who's moving in. Why is he moving in with the baller inside of the zone, inside of the center? And then as well, getting an elimination here on Seclusia. Absolutely amazing job by Bugha there. He actually got into top 5, so an amazing finish. He's got 2 points from that, plus all the other performances, other placements in that match. We've got only 1 match remaining. Just like you guys said, it has to be a big one for somebody to overtake Bugha at this point. So Lupo, Courage, please close us out.
Thank you, Balla. As you know, so much on the line here this weekend of the Fortnite World Cup, but it is not the only thing that people are excited about with Fortnite right now, Dr. Lupo. There's always so much going on, and I'm sure a lot of people in this sold-out arena know this week it's time for a new season. And
yes, indeed.
You guys want to see the first tease for the new season of Fortnite? Ooh. I guess we should show it to him. I have not seen this before. Oh! All that Epic told us is think back. August 1st, 2019, the next season of Fortnite. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is, Dr. Lupo?
CD in the third, I bet, is going nuts right now. Jack, Dusty Depot.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys excited for the next Fortnite season? August 1st, all will be revealed. And my God, I got the chills right now. That's the first time we saw that. They didn't show us anything.
It is.
Oh my goodness, you see how excited everyone is. And we are moments away from the final game. Everything that's happened. You see the leaderboards, you see how far it is. You're Bugha, you're up by so much. What's the rest of this lobby thinking right now?
It might at this point be a battle for second place, Jack. Such a lead right now. Bugha showing why he feels as though he deserves world champion. And at this point, I mean, you can't really blame him. He's playing out of his mind, playing incredibly intelligently. Positioning is key, and he's going for placement every single time, showing why he's on top of the leaderboard.
I can't believe he is so far and away the best. It has been something that I think a lot of people expected him to do well, but this well, anyone to perform this well, be this far ahead, unbelievable in a stacked lobby like this. Folks, use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Tell us your thoughts on the teaser we just saw, on what you're expecting from these final games, on your thoughts overall on the World Cup. It has been such a blast to be at this point. I cannot believe the road from where we started to here. These online qualifiers, everyone coming on in, the big names, the teams getting involved. Fortnite competitive is at a fantastic point, and with the millions watching online, I think it's a testament to how well it's doing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. You see a look down at the players getting ready for their final match of the day. 6 games total, the end of this next and final match. We will find out who the Fortnite World Champion in the solos competition is. If you're online, make sure you give some shout outs to those that you think can climb the board. It is still anybody's game. We've seen crazy comebacks before, and it would not surprise me to see it again. Jack, going into this last match.
Yes.
The nerves for some of these players probably at an all-time high.
Yes.
You have to realize there's going to be more after this, though.
Oh,
there's
for sure.
got to be more after this.
Yeah, this is not the end by any means. Yes, it's the biggest event in Fortnite competitive history, but there is still a bright future for this game. The new season coming out, more and more to be announced, I'm sure, very, very soon. All I know is the players are getting loaded on up and ready. You see them all looking around. What an experience this must be for all of them, their families in attendance. So many people here I've met this weekend, Ben, have been, it's their first ever gaming event. You know, not a lot happens in the Northeast because of, well, to be quite frank, how expensive it is to run events in this area of the country. But Epic do it, and they did it in style. What a fantastic venue. The Marshmallow performance earlier, I saw how
insane.
excited everyone was outside at the fan events too. It's been so cool, and I've been a part of so many competitive gaming events up to this point. This might be my favorite. This might be my favorite. I'm saying it right now.
It's touching, Jack. I appreciate that.
It is. I mean, it might just be, and that's all I know. I keep looking around, seeing everyone just excited, flowing back on in after the bathroom breaks, waiting for this last game. We appreciate your patience as we just get the lobby all set up. Want to make sure everything's all set and good to go. Remember, after this ends, if you're in the venue, don't just rush on out to get home and go back outside of the fan experience. We're going to crown our champion. We're going to crown our world champion. You want to be here for that big moment. Congratulate them. Celebrate the achievement. The trophy. How are they going to get that trophy home to the players? Because
Jack, I'll give you $20 if you charge down there and grab that thing right now.
I almost threw the headset down. I almost threw the headset down, and I thought, you know what? If I don't do that, my career is much more worth it, I believe. Again, you know, look at these lobbies. We played on these setups the other day. You know, you can't really create if you can just sit there. So you're looking at the leaderboards, and we're used to in-game tournaments, right, where you can go and see the prize pool and see how the split works. The solo and duos you see there on the screen, the solos, you know, competition is there. You click compete, and the prize pool pops up in-game at $3 million for first. And it, like, that's where it first set into me that we were actually at the World Cup final.
Yeah. When it's right there on the screen in front of you, it's real. Two of the fan favorites, Dubs and Mega, on your screen right now, and I gotta love that kid's hair.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have hair like that. There's Issa, who I know has quite the loyal following online. Some people were excited to see him perform this weekend. So much pressure for these guys. I look at the fans around the venue. Everyone excited for these games to continue. As I think the skins in the background of Chicken and Raptor were battling with the Thundersticks that were provided to some of our fans in the venue today. Creo again, our winner from that last game. The thoughts going through his head right now must be, I've got to rise this leaderboard. I've got to get as high as possible. Reverse, recently announced a member of TSM. Always seems like something's going on in Fortnite competitive. Now I think a lot of people wondering too, what's next to come, right? Is it more solos and duos? Is there going to be more of a focus on trios? I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Do teams now switch up after seeing this performance? Do you think teams begin to switch up if they're going to play trios and who they should have in on their squad?
One of the things I noticed watching the few trio tournaments that we've seen over the last couple weekends, teams really have kind of mixed who they typically play with. That being said, one of the things I love the most about watching those is that the groups, it's always changing. And I think that exemplifies just how connected the competitive community really is. A lot of these players, they're all friends. We see Skeptic holding up the L to the camera, which is very funny, and people doing emotes on each other after elimination in game. But at the end of the day, there's really kind of no bad blood between anybody because they all recognize they're all here for the same thing. It's a competition. On top of that, it probably doesn't hurt that they all take home $50,000 at a minimum, right? Every single player. So that definitely can't hurt. But real quick before we move on, Jack, I just want to ask, Did you ever think that any of these players, the list of names, do you think we'd see these players at this event? I mean, we've watched them grow and change over 10 weeks of qualifiers. We saw people kind of rise up out of nowhere sometimes. And the other side of that, we have players like Tfue, who've been well known for forever. It's amazing to see the list.
No, for sure. There's players that I think a lot of people expected to make it in, but didn't. All I know is there's been one player who's dominated so far today. It's Booga, and Sundown is over on Unreal Island with a breakdown of how he made it to this point.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And with one match left in the Fortnite World Cup final, one match to put everything on the line, the Sentinels player, Booga, has dominated the entire competition. He said from the very beginning, I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna challenge every single player. I'm gonna play aggressively. I'm gonna look to get in their faces, get in the end game. The player who qualified from the start made a name for himself after the host and continuing running through. Let's take a look into some of his eliminations and how he's been able to build himself a 15-point lead over the best of the best in the world, and he's doing it by intelligent rotation, getting to the far side of the zone, and then hitting his shots. Kid, Bugga says, bring the rest of the lobby on. I'm looking to go aggressive. We talked about King and his shoot first mentality, but the difference between King and Bugga is Bugga chooses his spots when to go. He knows when he needs to hold off, when he needs to be safe for a second, and when he can go aggressive. You see him stall just for a minute there against Creo, who's pushing in to the top 3, and he is able to execute the game plan, come up with the victory royale, and keep pushing forward. Now again, you know, right now, he has 0 elims, able to pick up one right there, but he's chasing back into the storm. He's not looking to run forward, he's looking to catch them afterward. And same thing there, dropping down, picking up Kinzel, breaking the trap. And this one in particular, incredibly well done. With the infantry rifle, laying down the shots, able to pick that one up. And you know, the one thing I really like to see about Bugga afterward, every single time he hits those shots, real quick, he's just making sure he gets everything clean. No sweat going on him, no sweat indeed, because he is sweating out the rest of the lobby. If you see Sentinels Bugga running at you, you need to be defensive or disengage, because he is not letting it go. He wants the top spot. He wants to be your wire-to-wire leader, and he wants to name himself the best Fortnite player in the world. One more match left. Lupo and Courage, take it away and close us out.
Great stuff, Sundown. Gotta tell the story of how our player in first place has made it this far. Again, we appreciate your patience as we just get a couple things sorted in the lobby, but I believe I've received word. Everything is set. It all comes down to this. Millions and millions played online. Only 200 qualified for the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and this is the last game. The battle bus has launched one more time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals ends right here.
All 100 players on your screen there, Jack. Bugga sitting out in front of everyone thus far. A commanding lead. Creo, the winner of the previous game, flying in there in the northeast corner of the map. Spread of players across the screen. There's your top 10 on the left side. Bugga, Psalm, Creo, Skype, Nate, Riverson, Rux, and the rest. Average placement thus far of 25th for Creo. Only 8 eliminations, but 30 points. Enough to put him in 3rd place thus far.
One thing to remember too, yesterday, Zate and Saf held on to the lead the first 5 games, and it slipped away in game 6. Bugga has been in the lead for all 5 games. He has never lost the first place spot. Will he suffer the same fate, or can he close it out right here to remain our Fortnite World Champion?
Bugga, by the way, hails from Pennsylvania, 16-year-old player. Sentinels qualified the very first week for the World Cup.
He's probably just got his first part-time job to try to start earning money to buy himself a car. But instead, after this, could walk away with $3 million. Dude's gonna walk on in and say, I quit.
Can't wait for him to get home as You know, imagine he wins $3 million here. His parents are going to ask him to take the trash out, and he's going to laugh.
Yeah, right. He'll just pay his butler to do that, I guess, at that point. As Cease currently set up, not many builds. One of these very early awkward fights. Cease knows that as well. You look at what he has: a common infantry rifle, 25 shots, and a drum gun, 0 ammo.
Jack, one of the first 4 to go down in this match is Skype, who was in 4th place.
Wow, so a little bit of pressure already gone from that top spot. Cease just looting for the moment. 2 chug splashes. If I do, as he throws them down, can you see all the players surrounded outside this Sunny Steps side of the map? Cease continues to bounce around for the moment. Not many AR shots left. Will get some out of the ammo crate, which is good. Every bit counts. And the farming of stone continues. Moffin and Zayt outside of Loot Lake, just fighting on the outskirts of it.
Moffin just kind of building, walling against any pressure from Zayt. Doesn't want to get caught on rotation. Interesting loadout. That gold combat very early. That's a very solid pickup to start this match. Single shockwave remaining. Legendary grenade launcher. Drum gun in hand as well.
I mean, talk about a great starting inventory. As we do swap on over. Blaster in a fight. Side pressure plant. One more player nearby, only at 73 HP. But again, when you're in this far into the tournament, you kind of get to a point where you just got to go for it. You got to just force an engagement. You got to get the points up. Shot comes on through. Not able to get it done as of yet. Blaster still healing up. We'll have bandages to get back up to, I think, 75 HP.
The feed, it looked like Tfue picking up an elimination. Let's see here how things play out. 90 players remaining. The first circle starts to close in 50 seconds. Bandaging on the egg. Blaster just hanging out here. That player down below, going to see if he can take shots here in a second. T-Chub's going to roll all the way down. Looks like no engagement going to happen here. Yarko, Sledwicki, 2 players that have faced off against each other a number of times. Going to go for the wall and, in fact, get it. Gets the angle inside and pushes on through. A solid aggressive play from Sledwicki to pick up his first elimination of Game 6.
Very clean, and that will end Yarko's Fortnite World Cup run. Solid performance earlier on. We'll see where he stacks up with the rest of this lobby when it's all said and done. Reminder, this is our final game here tonight. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Get it trending just like yesterday. Alongside the millions of people watching online. Sam, who is our player as well, near the top of the leaderboards. What can he do in this last game? Can he make the trek to try to catch up to Bugha, who was 15 points ahead in first?
Pika 1v1. And angled down through a handful of edits here at Mega Mall. He's going to push around the side and try and make his way inside Mall itself. Pika earned 12 of his total points in just the last match, and I think that says a lot about what is possible. In 11th place when we rolled into this game, Pika trying to find a way inside, pushing down through the outside. Maybe does in fact get the wall replace. Are you kidding me? Used the shockwave to get down the wall that his player inside was smacking out with it. That's unbelievable.
He basically called the bluff. He called the bluff. The guy was trying to break the wall to secure it for his own. Pika was like, okay, break the wall for me. I'll just replace it my own. And he does just that. Pika, full HP, 2 slurp juices, 6 minis, a very good assault rifle, the shotgun, but it looks like the aggression doesn't end here. Wall instantly broken. Pyramid's placed as well. And he can just continue to play these box fights. Really use the shockwave to try to drop down his opponent again. Said it once. Wouldn't surprise me if we use that same tactic here soon.
At this point, 100 HP, 100 shield. I do not blame him for being aggressive here. Knowing that players may be a little sparse in terms of loot, he's trying to track Keemstar on the outside, rotating around the edge of Mega Mall. These 2 players going to end up on top of each other before you know it. Oh my gosh. Floor loot.
Okay.
a heavy sniper rifle.
And another slurp. Okay.
He's looking for it.
It's like Batman.
See him watching.
He's waiting.
Dropping on in, does use those audio cues to try and track down the opponent underneath. Opts to back out of the fight for just a second. Get a different angle. Pika's awareness inside Mega Mall is insane. Knowing exactly where his opponents are and exactly when to push. Already picked him one elimination using those skills. Gonna see if he can find a second player in the slip. Going for the snipe. Oh, and he can't quite connect.
Imagine what would have happened in this arena if he hits that shot.
Dab.
He dabs after it.
A ton of damage taken. That small town in the southeast corner of the map. Banny, Arkram, back in a 1v1. Most likely, honestly, round 6 of these two facing off the beginning of these games. 73 players left. The Storm right on their backs. Things are going to start moving here in a minute. But these two decide to fight it out right now. He phased through the floor.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining me.
140, gonna opt
We're
for
going
a
to
mini,
get the
even
stream
just
started
the 10
in just a
shield
moment. I
might
hope
be enough to
everyone's
save him
been
from Arkram.
enjoying
Have to see
all
here,
of
pressure at the stick. He's trying to find
high
a top down to kind of
quality
lead the
gameplay,
shots on what may or may not be a build
Fortnite
out
allows
from
the
Arkram.
pros to do.
Right through it, Arkram dropping all the way down the campfire. And he's gonna drop that on one corner in an effort to push Arkram out of the box. Unbelievably, honestly, what a shot from Arkram, the bottom there. A quick edit on the ceiling, shot comes through.
Health very similar between the two. Slight advantage to Arkram right now.
Have to imagine that almost every 1v1 between these two has played out so complexly. If we're watching this right now, I guarantee you this is not the first time we've seen it. What a shot, a quick flip and edit on the ramp.
It's cat and mouse. It's literally cat and mouse in this fight.
This is one of the most insane 1v1s I think I've ever seen. 64 HP remaining. Bandy's gonna have to back all the way to the top.
This
Maybe
is pretty dang intense, dude.
Just a second
This
gets
is a
dropped in.
6-6
Gonna
match.
have to wall against that. The
Wow,
ramp
let's
to
just
save it.
shoutcast
One
it real
chance for the
quick
minis.
because
Gonna
this
wall
game
off still
is
back and
pretty
forth between
intense.
these
You know,
two
we
titans. The
made it this
campfire
far.
goes down.
We're gonna keep
As
it
soon as
going.
that
Just
wall
let
edit
this match
happens,
finish it
ramp
out.
inside just to prevent any push.
So this is Arkham
finding
X1,
another
and
angle.
what was
Might be
his
the only
name?
option at this point. Campfire though is going to have dealt a lot of HP back to Banny. Shot through,
Yeah,
can't
Banny
quite connect.
trying to go up
Here
to
we
the high
pressure up
ground.
top.
They both ended up in the storm.
The pyramid block.
Tried
Finally,
to
the
make
Storm
an icon, did
deciding
not
it's time
concede
to play
on
the
that.
fight out. And Banny goes
we'll
down.
see if
Hey,
Arkham
great fight
goes
though, man.
on
That went on for a full
get
2
out of the
minutes.
storm.
I love that we got to keep our eyes on that, but moving across the map now, it's Pika. We were
So we got
commenting so
Pika
much
here.
on how easily he can move through these boxes in Mega Mall, how he can navigate these areas.
So
It
right
looks
now
like
they're
that
at Mega
same
Mall. It
exact
looks like
pattern
he's
is
about to
continuing.
build up.
It's
He's about
Wexy,
to
who's at a
find
major
his
health
opponent.
disadvantage, but as I say that, does hit a quick little
Looks like he
shotgun shot that I
decided
think
to
will
get some distance.
push Pika away for a moment or make him reassess what he's doing. Maybe a misclick. It looked like he didn't really mean to do that.
Actually, Pika's going to have to try and take some sort of aggressive stance soon. A minute on this storm before it closes, and he's not in the next safe zone. Rogue Shark on your feet, picking up an Elam. We're down to 68 players remaining.
All right, looks
Outside of
like
that
he's going to
70
try to go another way
range
around.
before the
Trying to
storm
get
starts
the shot
to
in
tick on him.
somehow. Looks like his opponent already
No
has
wall
the
in place
wall.
yet.
He's just
So-
trying every chance he can to
Every
take
tactic.
these walls. This is the speed of these players. This is some insane stuff. This
Yeah,
is
look
why
at these
they're here
edits,
at the World
boys.
Cup.
That's some
Can't quite hit
high-quality
the
edits
shot.
right there.
He did a reset, took the other corner out. Still going for these wall replaces. Big
Oh,
hit
wow,
there. Down
that's
to
a big
16
shot. He has
HP.
16
And he's got no
HP
mats.
left.
He's got 2 total builds, so with the zone
Pika.
pushing as well, this looks like it's got to be a shadow bomb play. Pika is actually going to dive into the zone to make his path a little bit less predictable. Will take the long route, 10 health, he's got a launch pad. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pika is not happy. Yeah, you see him kind of sigh right there. Uses both shadow bombs.
He definitely lost a lot of HP from that battle. I think he's regretting that
can't
right
even box
now.
up for safety. Uses one of his launch pads too. Not a fun spot to be in. Pika, look, still can't even build one box.
Does have the minis. He's got a campfire in case he wants to put it down. I think the fear at this point is if he puts that campfire down, it's like a signal flare for anybody around. This is the box to push. Meanwhile, Tfue, Dusty Divot flying across, landing.
Oh yeah, we got the main man Tfue. He is a crowd favorite up here.
Shots
like he's going ahead
right next
against someone who's whatever on low ground.
Box alone, you
Build
see
up,
in the
bro.
mini-map. Only a handful of players around Dusty Divot. Clicks.
We got the last match of the third day of the tourney.
Far out there.
Thank you for coming
Clicks
in.
is actually, one of his trio partners. Previous trio cup that happened. They're fighting each other right now. Trying to make his way out of here. Still not in zone yet.
All right, swinging up, guys. Just
remember as well. There is some loot nearby, but
took an unexpected nap, man. I guess I was tired or something.
Oh yeah, we got a fight here, Tfue.
Oh yeah.
1 versus 1. Is it Clicks? Not exactly sure. It is Clicks on the other side of this wall. So Tfue versus Clicks. Veteran versus the up-and-comer.
So Tfue is going head-to-head with
back
Clicks.
at the moment, it looks like there's another player nearby as Clicks will just say, nope, don't need this anymore, we'll fly away. Who goes down on the elimination feed. Cease goes down on the elimination feed.
I don't have my water up here. All right, guys.
63 players left. No Storm Surge in this one yet.
My mic
Luga picking up an elimination. It's first of this match. Just another point between him and second place.
Man. Consistency so key, and Vuga has embodied that today. Only one bad game. The rest have been absolutely electric. Vuga's just sat up with the high ground in the zone, waiting patiently for this lobby to drop on down. Snazy now 1 box away from an opponent. Only 54 HP, needs to perfectly edit one of these walls and get a shot down range. You see his opponent not sitting still for any moment. He expects him to drop it, and that's exactly what happens. He's finding the patterns and how his opponent likes to play these box fights. But still with no healing and his opponent jumping back up, you got to think some shields will be replenished and Snazy will be at even more of a health disadvantage.
Tries to go for the reset on the floor.
No shields pop.
There we go. Catches himself. He's going to hold the edit on this pyramid. He's looking for a chance to push Martine. If one arises, we'll have to see. Snazy's hope may be to catch him off guard. There we go. Here's the shadow bomb. Going to rotate up and away.
All right, looks like Snazy avoided that pressure. Trying to get out of this 1v1. Looks like he made a smart move with that, but right behind him. Oh, he got smashed by the edit. That's a rogue shark right there.
Meanwhile, 1 elimination, 62 builds. Sit on 2 shadow bombs.
So let's see, Clicks going up in the World Cup. This guy went from rags to riches. He had nothing, and now he's at the top.
So many players stacked up near each other, and oftentimes you do see players utilizing the already built structures for easy wall replaces. No surprise. Popped up next to him.
Inventory looks great, but he just doesn't have a lot of ammo.
Imagine he picks up 1 elim on someone who's can kind of fill those numbers up.
So Riversand is getting in there. He's planned up.
Late game 7 RPG.
I got the hiccups.
Still very, very good. 69 total builds down to 60 now. 56 players remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final game of the solo competition here at the Fortnite World Cup. It literally all comes down to this.
5 players will become millionaires right after this game. Tfue just picked up his 3rd elim. Still has a launch pad, some great loot on the player that they just took down. But he doesn't have the zone again. He does have 2 launch pads, and I might use one of those. He wants to make sure he makes some of those placement points, and there it comes. Launch pad used. Will Tfue get beamed? Right, this is one of those moments where you're just thinking, Ben, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me. Looks like he'll make it up through one team.
Literally flying past the windows of opponents, going to land on top of the second structure. Somebody underneath. Start layering up 86 builds, still has another launch pad.
Looks like Tifo's botched up. He's ready to get some shots in. Looks like there's a lot of action going on in the middle of the field, of course, and a lot of action going on in the middle of the field. We got Bugga on high ground right now. I bet he wishes someone were to take the shot so he could focus somewhere.
10 redeploys, 2 shockwaves, 6 minis, but no medium ammo, Jack.
A crazy note with Bugga. When the Fortnite World Cup qualifier started, Bugga qualified in Week 1, in NA, in first place. From the moment Fortnite World Cup started, he finished atop the North America region. And now in another spot again where it can happen, and he's just dancing up top. He knows really this is his to take unless someone has legitimately the best performance ever in the history of a Fortnite competitive game. Tifu and Benji Fishy fighting on the bottom right of the screen. Sam, who's trying to contest.
All right, Sam going in. Looks like they are teaming up on this one dude. He got smashed. Don't know who that was. Looks like Tifu's still safe in this 1-by-1.
Players remaining.
Benji Fish with Zate.
This lobby is going to get very, very tight. Going into this match, Sam was 2 points ahead of third place, but 15 points behind first.
Talk about a lead as we've just now hit our top 50 in this game. Arkram goes down. Sam, 1 elimination. Can he close the gap? If you think about it right now, he's still 15 behind.
Got the hiccups.
Bugga's still in this game. What he needs right now, Bugga to go down, and he needs 5 more limbs and a victory royale, but no! No! Sam gets caught off guard.
Zate got Sam.
And as that happens, Bugga gets a limb. The pieces are falling into place, and Bugga's about to call checkmate.
Tifu on your screen here. 3 eliminations. Still has the launch pad, sitting on a pretty similar loadout. Not a lot has changed as he's waiting, biding his time, looking for eliminations up above the rest, though. Bugga
hasn't had to move in 5 minutes.
Nope.
He's had height. He hasn't had to move in 5 minutes. He's sitting so pretty. Here's that a limb that we missed when Sam got taken out. And
are you kidding? Look at him laugh. Look at him absolutely laugh. Quick 1 tap on Storm on the move.
It's a gift. Is it his birthday? That's about as free as it gets.
Bugga might be the luckiest player with zone placement I think we've ever seen in a competitive Fortnite match. Sitting atop his tower, a castle of metal, unthreatened.
And he built it with metal earlier, and he just kind of hoped it would work out this way, and it did. He's been sat here for so long. It basically sums up the leaderboard.
All right, so we got 43 people left. We are getting into like the final circles.
No threats,
Bugga has high ground. Had uncontested high ground this whole 5 minutes I've been watching. I really wish my hiccups would leave my body right now.
Imagine.
Picking up a pair in the feed there. Fluttermoys and Dubs both go down. Going to be 2 very good eliminations there. 38 players remaining.
Oh my God, trying to get rid of these hiccups, dude.
And Bugga is looking for shots on everybody.
Yo, Fortnite Pro, dude, what is up?
Ground advantage. Jesus and others looking to try and contest it. Benji Fishy moving up as well. Ballers still rotating in the low ground. Tifu making his way across. A lot of damage coming in. Only 1 minute in the inventory and 15 builds remaining. A tough spot for Tifu.
He's so close to placement, but can he survive? King with elimination.
Player count continuing to drop. Fizzle, Takamura, Zate picking up multiple eliminations.
All right, looks like Tifu.
29.
Playing it safe. Oh God, Tifu goes down.
In the box, Kurtz picks that one up.
That will end Tifu's Fortnite World Cup. Zate drops off high ground for the moment. Bugga's still alive in this game in the bottom right of your screen. Still at max HP. He's made it in the top 25. At this point, it's basically a victory lap. Yeah, he's getting beamed out of the sky, but he doesn't care. He'll drop on in, pop some minis. King on the top right had 6 limbs. The guy's an absolute brawler. The 13-year-old should be so proud of how he played today. Lol Boom up top, Crew, the double qualified player as well.
Picking up another elimination. elimination. Takamura goes down.
Booga now into your top 20. Mongrel, your Fortnite World Cup is over. Vivid's still alive in this game. It's Crew with 4 limbs atop our leaderboard right now. Has most limbs of who's still alive. Booga there as well. Has all the ammo in the world, not a lot of materials. Let's see how he weasels his way out of this one.
Ball moving the ultimate high ground. T-Chep going for a challenge up top. Does in fact take it over. Meanwhile, Booga, box fight for his life. A little back and forth here. He's waiting to see if this player rotates out. There it is, a big shot. Another elimination.
And he's got near max material.
Wow, dude, Booga is a beast, dude. Broke the ball.
The absolute siege right now. Booga still moving through, and at this point, it's a sign of respect. We've got to watch this man continue to dominate. A statement is being made. Dr. Lupo at the end of this game, he'll most likely be crowned the best Fortnite player in the world.
I've never seen anybody play in a competitive Fortnite match with a smile on his face like this kid right now, but he is absolutely dominating every single player he's run into thus far.
Curd is right on point, dude.
Rotating back away, pressure from above, and he's immediately going to wall that off. The kid's
top 10. He's smiling. He knows it. He knows it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
9 players left. Unrelenting is Booga. Hasn't dropped out of first since today started. There's all the remaining players. Running low on materials, but he still wants more. 4 limbs in this game. Box it up for a moment. Pyramid comes through. Booga still alive. Shots going down. Can't connect with that one. 1 build left. The final moments of Fortnite World Cup.
Oh my gosh.
Bow down. Bow down to Booga.
Doesn't even matter. 4 players, 3 players remaining. It's a fight out for the victory royale in game 6.
2 left.
1v1. Crew still in it. T-Chub as well, back and forth. And it might come down to a heel off. T-Chub dropping down those campfires. We'll see here. Crew following it all the way in, and T-Chub goes down.
Wow, GG, boys. G frickin' G.
Crew with 7 eliminations and the victory royale. The monster performance at the end of it. That could have just secured him hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even over $1 million by just that game right there with how he does.
All right, so let's see how everyone did.
There's no way anyone beats him. Your Fortnite World Champion, Booga!
Booga, Booga. Yo, GG's, mate.
$3 million richer. The biggest individual prize victory in competitive gaming history. Millions watching online, and folks, he didn't narrowly win. He absolutely took the best Fortnite lobby in history and taught him a darn lesson.
That, bro.
More time for your Fortnite.
He corny stomped him, huh?
Solo winner.
There's his family looking on. Hey, get double chicken. get the extra meat, do the whole thing. He's buying, I'm gonna tell you right now. And there's the dance. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna bet his dad if he's got moves like that. And that's what it's all about. Booga hasn't moved, as we'll probably need security to get him to leave this arena. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up again for Booga, your new Fortnite World Champion.
Wow, dude. Congrats. That was hell of a game.
We have cast in almost every single major Fortnite event up to this point, Dr. Lupo. I have never, ever seen a performance come close to that. So far and away, the winner that literally, them backstage didn't even have to calculate it. It was done.
Immediate. Normally, folks, we do have to wait a minute or two, and they need to triple check. They went right to it. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Insane.
Out of the gate. The trophy presentation, by the way, is coming up very, very soon. But Jack, Booga from game 1, a 19-point victory royale to start the entire thing all the way to the finish.
Wow, dude. Oh my God, dude.
59 points.
That is one of the most dominant performances
Impressive,
in
guys,
gaming
impressive.
history. Second, congratulations to Sam, who beats out Epic Whale by 1 point to earn $1.8 million. Epic Whale, Creo, King there as well. You see Crew, Skype, Nate, Riverson, and Fatch. And then our top 20, Rux, T-Chub, Mongrel, Stompy, Dubs, Pika, Bellow, Clicks, Peter Pan, and Commandment. $112,500 or more earned. But as always, a congratulations to everyone who made it this far onto the biggest stage, the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
Absolutely ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. From myself and Courage JD, the opportunity to cast the Fortnite World Cup could not have
Impressive,
happened
guys.
without you.
Those are
But
hell of
this isn't our
showcasters.
show, Jack. We absolutely need to pass it off. If you could, please, Golden Boy, take it away.
I got you covered, fellas. What an incredible
All right,
game
everybody. We're
that
going to
was.
wrap this up and get the next stream started. So, peace.